Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? And welcome to my Safe Gayven. Happy Sunday. Happy Pride. Guys, if you missed me last week, or actually, let me just do this. If this is your first time checking out one of my lives, checking out the channel in general, because I have gotten a slew of new followers recently, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. I always say the things that I love to talk about here on the channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic. As you can see, I even got it tattooed here on the leg. I can't stand. I have no balance. Blood, sex, gore, and magic. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy, whether that is horror, superheroes, comic books, action movies, horror movies, and things like that. And of course, if you couldn't tell by the name, I like to talk about Black representation and queer representation. Representation matters, and through representation equals normalization. So do me a favor, hit that like button if you're watching here on YouTube, because it tells YouTube algorithm that this video is worth getting out there, my channel's worth getting out there, that you love the content, that you feel like the Vampire Lestat reviews, this place is the hottest place to be. Now, with that said, guys, as you already know, I do not like to go live alone, and I missed this person on the channel. If you watched my other reviews from seasons 1 and seasons 2, you know we loved to talk about our messy queer vampires every single week. This is a dear friend of mine, somebody I love geeking out and nerding out with, my queer Latina baddie. Let's bring her back to the stream because she was sick last week and couldn't join, but she is back. She has come to me. What is that? My maker called and I came, but it's not that type of stream. So with that said, let's bring on Amanda Castrillo.
Castrillo, hello.
Castrillo.
How dare you? Hi, my name is Amanda Castrillo. You should know me because we have talked about this show many times.
We might have some new people here. We might have some new people here. So
if you don't know me, my name is Amanda Castrillo. I talk about movies, TV shows, commentary, comedy, all that good stuff. I love Interview with the Vampire. I love vampirism. I love gay stuff. And I think vampirism is inherently fruity, which is why I love Interview with the Vampire. I am a lifelong fan. I watched the movie when I was way too young and then subsequently read the books when I was way too young. So safe to say that I love this. I love Michael. I love chatting about this stuff with Michael. And yeah, I'm ready to get back into it. Sorry that I was sick last week. And then I also have a sunburn this week. So I really am going through vampirism right now. Like, I was a Victorian child last week and now I'm sunburned this week.
So to me, it sounds like you need to release our rock album, because it sounds like you're going through it.
You know what? Yeah, I actually do need to release an album. That's the EP is coming out next week, guys.
It's like we're getting your album before we even get Beyonce Act 3. Like, what's going on?
Well, let me open GarageBand right quick.
So also, guys, if you joined me last week, you know I had another friend of mine, Ethan from Virgo Blade. He couldn't join this week, but he said he's willing to come back for another episode so we could turn this duo into a threesome. Let's people are saying they want to see a Louis Lestat and Lemuel threesome. I highly doubt we're gonna get that. But
didn't Sam Reed say that like he could, like, Lestat would crash out if like he had to, like,
100%. He was like, yeah, I don't think Lestat could have a threesome with Louis.
Like, he put Miss Lily
he would kill the other person, which I 100% agree with. So kudos to Sam Reed for really understanding that character.
He literally lured somebody in and then put them to sleep immediately. Like, he was not having it.
Facts. But with that said, Amanda, before we get into episode 3, since you weren't here last week, let's do a quick dive or a quick like thoughts for you of like, what did you think about episodes 1 and 2? And just like me, you were also at the red carpet world premiere. So I want you to, do a little quick recap to let the people know, what do you think? Like, the stage is yours. Take it away.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I did go to the premiere. I also did get the first 3 episodes for screening purposes. I know you got 6. I'm jealous. But I went to the premiere in the beginning of June, and it was honestly one of the best experiences ever. Again, I've been a lifelong fan of all of this. Thank you, welcome back. Thank you. I've been a lifelong fan of this entire universe and franchise, and I was able to also interview the cast as well. So I quite literally did interview the vampires, and they have been coming out on my page. So I didn't allow.
Oh yeah, she did interview the cast. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I interviewed the vampires, and so honestly, basically everything that I've ever wanted to do for this series, I was able to luckily do. I'm very lucky and blessed to be able to do that. And so that was a great trip to New York. It was great seeing Michael there. It was great seeing Sam Braid perform live. That man has pipes. Actually, that mic was on. That man needs to be on Broadway. I need to see him as I need to see him as Frankenfooter in freaking Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, he needs to go on Broadway. But the first episode, I was expecting the tonal change. I know a lot of people, it was controversial with a lot of people, especially people who haven't read the books. And I'm not a book purist by any means. I love this show. I maybe would say more than the books. And so I was already conscious of the fact that there was going to be a massive tonal shift. And it was like watching an ADHD girly try to tell you a story. And I loved it. I loved it so much. It was literally just I was picking up what he was putting down. I was trying to put the through lines together. Loved episode 1 as chaotic as it was. Episode 2, Gabriella, you gotta go to hell. Gabriella gotta go to hell. I'm gonna say that a lot. Gabriella gotta go to hell. And so I also loved kind of seeing the more peeled, it's especially since I've seen the first 3 episodes, I feel like every single episode has been peeling a layer back, and you've been actually seeing the more earnest and at first it starts out really, really crazy, and then it gets more and more sincere as it goes along. And I don't know, I know, Michael, you've seen up to episode 6, so I don't know if I could be wrong. But I do really like the way they're formatting it. And again, let the tale seduce you. I've been seeing a lot of good responses for episode 3, and they're just oh yeah, we're so back. I'm let the tale seduce you. We were back in episode 1. Okay.
Agreed. Yeah.
We were back in episode 1. We were back in episode 2. We are definitely back in episode 3. So yeah, I love the fact that we are seeing it from his perspective. And even then, he's still not reliable. He's still kind of boulderizing all this stuff and just trying to make it into something that's technically is, but technically isn't. And so I'm just really excited to see where this insane journey goes. And I personally loved the first 2 episodes. We only got to see the first episode at the premiere. And then I watched the other 2 under a blanket on a plane. And so then I rewatched them later on in a more normal setting. And so, yeah, I absolutely love the first 2 episodes. Gabriella gotta go to hell. And Lestat, baby, you need therapy that I don't think any mortal therapist can give you.
Facts. All right. So with that said, every vampire that we've met on this show needs therapy.
They needed it before they became vampires.
They needed it before they became vampires, but now that they're vampires, it's even worse.
Is one of the prerequisites to vampirism just being a crazy bitch? What is that?
Yeah, I was just about to say we can get more into it later, but the only vampire, because I definitely feel like Daniel, because Daniel tries to pretend he doesn't have transformational trauma, but he most definitely does. As much as he tries to pretend that he's in love and loves and is having a great time being a vampire, he's miserable. But the only vampire that I can think of that we've seen so far that does not have transformational trauma was Madeline. And look what happened. And look what happened to her.
I wish we could have seen more of Vampire Madeline. I felt so bad for her. Homegirl didn't even make a year. She was a baby vampire. And I
don't think she got 6 months.
No, I don't think she did. That was so tragic. I feel so strongly about that whole thing. And I'm so sad. And I will continue to be sad about that whole thing. But no, she is the only one we've seen. Her and weirdly, Louis, in an odd sense.
I mean, can you say it's not trauma?
It was traumatic given the
dead bodies, dead priests all over him.
Yes. And it's one of those things where it's least traumatic Madeline. And then if we had to put it on a ranking scale, I think Louis would be not a close second, not by far close. But at the very least, he was able to be yeah, you can do that.
But also, did he really have a choice? Because
not really. I mean, the choice was Yeah,
Like, imagine if he said no to Lestat. Do you think Lestat would have just been like, all right, I'm gonna let you go?
I don't know, actually. Like, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know. I do not know.
Exactly. That's kind of the point. The fact that
Yeah,
we don't
I'm like,
know.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, I actually don't know. But like, that's the craziest part about that whole thing is the fact that like the only nice kind of transformation scene we've ever seen was Madeline's, and then her life was cut the shortest. And it's like, it's so, I feel a lot of things. Okay. Like, I feel so bad.
Yes, poor Madeline, no transformational trauma, but she still had a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
We all need therapy. I agree. Yeah, she did experience trauma, like, with the German thing, her getting raped by,
The war.
by the, soldiers of war and things like that. So I'm not saying she's trauma free, but in terms of that, but that has nothing to do with vampirism.
Her transformation into vampirism was the least traumatic experience.
Yeah,
that specific experience.
Like, for the most part, I would say 99% of vampires are turned non-consensually.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to mean. Where I was just like, at some level, at least Louis could, on some level, consent, given the circumstances of everybody else's transformations. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but that's like Madeline is here and Louis is like...
Louis, like, yeah, like that's what I said. I'm like, it's not even a close second. Like, Madeline's here, Louis is like punched through priest, brother's dead, mother hates him, like he's gay. Like, there's a lot of things going on. Like,
but with that said, speaking of a lot of things going on, we see that Lestat is going back to his old murderous ways now that mommy's back in town. So we see this little newlywed couple, and it's like, damn, on your honeymoon, you get murdered by some crazy incestuous vampires.
it was her like photobombing their selfie for me. Like, Gabriella, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is her problem? Like,
yeah, she wanted to commemorate the evening with her son.
It was her fully cheesing it too. Like, not even scary. She was like, and I'm like, girl, what?
And oh my God. So they end up getting unalived. And because of that, it causes like a delay because Daniel's trying to have a little interview go on to film his documentary. Because what did he say? I'm taking this thing to Cannes.
Yeah, he's. And it's like, it's so funny too, because like there's a part like later in that episode where he's like, oh, like vampires, we're just like you. Like, he like stops himself. He's about to say they're just like us, and then he goes, oh, we're just like you. He has to like remind himself that he's also a vampire, and he's like, that's the little tidbit of like what Lestat was talking about, where it's like, nah, you are traumatized, dude. You're not even referring to yourself as a vampire.
Yes, and that's exactly why I say Daniel has transformational trauma, because even when he's interacting with other vampires, specifically Lestat, he's trying to pretend or masquerade as if he's still human. Yeah. In his mind, he's still walking through as if he's still human, but then going around saying, oh, I love being a vampire. But then also when you get to episode 2, we go back to episode 2 with that conversation of Louis and Daniel, obviously keeping in mind that this was told through Lestat's perspective, so we don't actually know what was said. But based on the conversation that we saw, remember when he said, like, I should have called you before I wrote the book, or before I published the book, but I wanted to get something out of it. I want to
get something out of this. And meanwhile, 20-year-old Daniel thought that that's what he would get out of it.
Yeah, becoming a vampire.
He thought, like, there was a time, like 50 years ago, that he thought that was something to get out of it.
Like, that was what he wanted. Like, he begged Louis to turn him, but now as an older man, him saying, the fact that he said, I wanted to get something out of it, tells, in my mind, that's like, after everything that I sacrificed to tell this story, the fact that I had to suffer to become a vampire, he doesn't see this as much as a gift as he pretends it is.
He doesn't. Like, he operates completely differently. Another thing, too, if you notice, Lestat says in this episode, the date that he was turned, like that Daniel was turned, and it wasn't around, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't around the same time as he was conducting the interview. It was like,
it seemed like it was like months later.
And I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Because I was under the impression that when Louis left,
that it happened like right after.
It happened right after, but it didn't. What the? Like, I know, like, kind of like what goes along. I was like, oh, what the hell were y'all doing? I was like, what? Oh.
And so I know Roland Jones, who was the showrunner, said we're not going to see Daniels turning this
Until
season.
season
We're not
4.
going to see it until season 4. But it's safe to say, it's safe to assume, based on the pattern, he didn't choose this life.
No, and also that Armand dipped immediately. Like, immediately.
Yes.
Oh.
Didn't teach, and that's also why I think, because there was a moment that Daniel said to Louis, he's like, I didn't get any, like, also, like, I wanted to get something because I didn't get any powers. I didn't get the fire gift. I didn't get the cloud gift. He said, he's like, all I got was the low hanging balls gifts. But honestly, I think he did get powers, but he just doesn't know because his maker wasn't there to teach him. Because even think about like season 2. Yeah, I was gonna even think about season 2. Louis had the fire gift, but he didn't know until Armand taught him.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, how would he, like, what would he wouldn't know what to do with it if he had it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like and it's an ongoing thing too of like people's makers just not telling them shit. Like, either throwing them into a fire like immediately, or
like immediately, like Magnus.
Yeah, or like Lestat, who did stay with Louis, but also was just like, I guess you'll just find out.
But wouldn't tell him anything. Every time Louis asked the question, he didn't want to tell him.
He was like, I should probably tell you that you shouldn't go out into the sun, but
yeah, so I'm like, what's with vampires not wanting to teach their fledglings? It's just like, yeah.
They're all absent parents. Like, they're all just like, those people was like, oh, I thought school was supposed to teach them how to live. Like, that's them.
But it's like, technically speaking, like, not Armand, Daniel should be like one of the most powerful fledglings around, because turning a vampire, it's like printer ink. The more you do it, the less powerful the subsequent children become. And Daniel never turned anybody. I mean, not Armand never turned anybody, and he didn't turn Daniel until he was like 600 something years old.
Yeah, like,
so he should have
514, right?
Yeah, he should have so much. Like, we even see, like, when season 2, he's so powerful that he's able to turn his eyes. Not even Armand could do that.
Yeah, and so I think that he's just like, well, first of all, he's a baby vampire, like, he just got here, and then, like, second of all, like, he has no frame of reference of how things could be taught. Yeah, and so I think that he probably does. He like Louis like, I ain't got the cloud gift. Yes, the fuck he does. He just used it today.
Yeah, we use it, and that's something I was curious about, because I'm like, wait, did he always have it, or did that something? Because he also has been drinking from Armand for like 70 years. Yeah, so I'm like, so is that how he got it?
Maybe. Like, that's the thing. Like, maybe he like got it from drinking from him. Maybe he got it just innately because he's like. He was born in the 1800s. It's 2025 currently in universe.
Or no, Louis was born in the 1900s.
No, he was born in the 1800s.
Oh yeah, no.
He was already
33. I'm thinking about his vampirism. No, he was born in the 1800s. Yeah.
Yeah, he was already in his 30s in 1910.
Yeah,
33.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, I'm like, okay, he was born in the 1800s. And it's what, he's like 150 something now.
About, yeah.
Yeah, like, he's like 150 something years old now. So, like, I feel like that's enough time to like get something, right? Like,
and I definitely feel like ever since like leaving Armand, like I feel like he like embraced more of his like vampirism, because it seemed like he didn't know how to fly before, but
I think our mom was nerfing him, like, because he was like altering his memories and shit, and he was like keeping him kind of secluded and like in a cage essentially. And so like, I think leaving from him, he was like, wait, let me lock in actually. And he just
so I think once he started to own the night, like you said, like he started to lock in and like embrace more of his vampiric nature.
Yeah, he's like, because here's the thing, it's like, could he not do it, or just was Armand not allowing him?
Like, whereas, you know, Daniel on the other hand is still pretending to be human.
Exactly. And I think maybe it's like a mental block. Like, maybe it's like, oh, like, because you refuse to accept your situation, like, it's not going to happen because you can't believe it can happen.
Well, with that said, even with him trying to pretend to be human, like, he's still like one thing about his human side, because you think about when you become a vampire, you now also have this other like thrill of the hunt, thrill of the kill, thrill of like, you know, chasing after your victim. And then you pair that with the fact that he's also a journalist, and
Yeah.
journalists have a thrill of getting the story, have a thrill of, you know, capturing the moment, which also in today's society also segues into like a thrill of going viral. And so you peg those, you combine those two things together. It's like he almost is a little bit more vindictive now than he was
like
even in seasons 1 and seasons 2.
When he was like egging on Lestat to like cry, and like when he finally got him to do it, I have to put on quotation marks.
Like he was getting off on it, like he was happy, he was excited.
Like he was happy to see this guy fall apart. Whereas when he was interviewing Louis, and then later on, kind of Armand, when Armand just kept interjecting, gremlin ass. But like he more so, he never like. Oh, like I'm trying to think of like the way that he didn't look like he relished in Louis'
like he had no problem calling Louis out on his bullshit.
Yeah, he had no problem calling it out, but he never looked like he relished in that misery.
But moments where Louis like needed a moment, he allowed Louis to like take a moment, take a beat. There was no like, oh,
and he was like, stop recording. Like, there was a part specifically where he's like, I'm gonna stop the tape. Like he was like, he saw him getting hyped up and emotional, and he was just like, pause. And then this time with Lestat, when he thought that he was getting like the good scoop, he's just like smiling and laughing while this guy's like pouring his fucking heart out about like his dead boyfriend and like his relationship with his mom, and like having to get kidnapped and tortured, like all these things. And he's like, and it's like, that's so, he was not like that. And it kind of like heightened that part of him that like thirsts for a scoop more than it thirsts for like genuine human connection.
And I think that's also part of his transformational trauma as well. Because like, crap, I just lost my train of thought. I forgot where I was about to go with that. But yeah, but I definitely think that was also that's also part of it. Because what was I gonna say? There was a point that I was gonna combine with that. Shit, I don't remember. But
no, it'll come back.
Yeah, it'll probably come back like at the very end of the stream. Like
it's like, oh
yeah. Remember what I said at the 23-minute mark? Now that we're at like the hour and a half mark or whatever.
Also, Baby Jenks. Oh God, because she's very different from how she was in the books. In the book, she was a teenager. She was like 14, like a kid.
Oh yeah, I didn't know there was a baby. I didn't know there was a Baby Jenks.
There was a Baby Jenks, yes, and she was also aligned with Killer and like the Tooth team, the Fan Gang, and so she was way younger. I don't remember a lot, but I just know that she was like younger and she was along with the Fan Gang, and so like Bruce being the one that she was getting married to, I was like,
the fact that they did that as a callback, and it took me a second because when I first watched it, I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, and then you saw the tattoo on the back of her neck. It said Killer, and then on his hand it said Baby Jenks, which is another thing I want to ask about.
That's the thing. I missed that part too. I didn't say because they went. I saw the kill her, but I missed the Baby Jenks on his arm.
Yeah, Baby Jenks.
It wasn't until maybe the second rewatch that I was like, wait, is that the same bitch from
it's the same bitch, like it's her. And so I'm just like, first of all, wild work. Absolutely wild work on her part. Second of all, like she has a type. Third of all, it's that to me. Also, she's been turned. Like you see her nails and like
she's been and her eyes
and her eyes, and so that's a whole thing. She had like an actual wedding and then a vampire wedding. But that I feel like that's gonna become a problem. Like that is gonna become a big.
That's definitely because Lestat. I mean, because Louis left her alive.
Yeah.
And what we know from like Kill Bill rules or any type of show,
never leave them alive. They're gonna come back.
You never leave them alive. You never kill somebody's loved one or family or whatever and leave that one person is gonna be a problem for you.
Like, oh, Louis, baby, I know that you probably in the moment were just like, oh, she didn't know, she didn't do it. But like, first of all, she could have. He could have told her shit. Like, you don't know. And then like, also, Louis, why would you? That's gonna be her own problem. That's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, but with that said, like getting more into the actual interview itself, like I love that whole format, the
Yeah.
documentary, like, and then just seeing Daniel and Lestat just basically having a cunt off.
I love them so, like, their banter and their relationship. I love that they kind of match each other's like unhinged freak. Like, it's so fun to watch because they're both just rage baiting each other the whole time. It's great.
But it's like Daniel, maybe that worked for you in the human world, and you were able to make people crack. But it's like clearly you met your match with
No, like
the
y'all
brat.
both
He's called
vampires.
the Brat Prince for a reason.
Like, he's like this is the same man that like came out of left field talking about hot dog eating contests. Like, you think he gives a fuck? Like, that's gonna hello. But like, you think he cares? Like, you think he's gonna like actually give you what you want? But like that whole illusion thing though, I was like, oh, he's so and then the whole crew just letting it happen, it was so funny to me.
But yeah, agree. Daniel annoyed me too because I kind of feel like, to what end? Like, let's say it really he did capture Lestat crying and everything. Like, what does that do for you? Like, what does that solve? Like,
What
what does that get you?
it's the cruelty of it all, where it's like he thought, okay, I'm gonna get something out of it, and like he gets turned, right? And then what does he think after getting turned? He thinks, I'm still gonna publish the book, right? Like, he's avoided calling his daughters, he's avoided like contacting anybody else. Like, he's operating not on like a human level
Well, I
anymore.
remember he mentioned he did try to call his daughter after he
Yeah.
turned, and she didn't take his call.
Now, it that she sorry, I literally like again like just rewatched. Was it that she didn't take his call, or was it that he hung up before she could?
He said he called her multiple times and she wouldn't take the call.
Oh damn. Like, that's so sad. But like valid but sad. But like he it's again like kind of watching him supposedly watch this guy break down, even though everybody else can't see it but him. And he's smiling and he's cheesing and he's hearing the most horrific things happen. And when he was talking to Louis, he'd be like, hey, yo, that was abuse though. Like, he would like point out and be like, hey, this is like, you're like a victim, dude. Like, he would be earnest in that fact, like blunt, but he would be honest and earnest. And then this time he's just like, oh, we got it to crack. And it's like, but why though? Like you said, like what to what end?
Yeah, to what end? It's like, but and this is something. This could be an interesting, but I don't think so. Daniel isn't cruel. Does the Talamasca have something over him?
I don't think necessarily that it's not that he's not cruel. I think that it's the fact that he's become something else now.
Yeah, kind of like what I mentioned earlier. I'm not sure if you were here when I said this, Sabi0924, but like if you combine the fact that Daniel is now a vampire and vampires have a thrill of the kill, the thrill of the hunt, Lestat is now his new hunt because also he is a journalist and journalists have a thrill of seeking the story, of capturing the moment. So you put those two things together. I feel like this is why he is the way he is, heightening what he are like the emotions and thing that he already had as a human.
For example, like Lestat before he turned was an actor. Like, he was on stage, he was an actor, he was kind of like a free spirit, he was already like bisexual, he was already doing all that shit. And then he turns into a vampire, and what does he do in almost every era he's awakened?
He's
He gets an
acting.
audience. He gets an
Yeah, he
audience
gets
of
an
some kind.
audience. He's putting on before. He even said in what was it, episode 1, the armor that I crafted for myself for decades is finally starting to crack.
Yeah. Like, he's
Like
still like he's gonna find an audience one way or another.
the Vampire Lestat is a performance.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing where it's like whoever they are. He even says it about Claudia. He's like, oh, she's 14. She's gonna be every bad thing about 14 forever. Like, that is everything's gonna be exacerbated. The hunger, the feelings, the hormones, the everything is gonna be 10 times the amount that it would have normally been had she just been a person. So that doesn't change really for other vampires. When you turn a vampire, they're gonna be kind of stuck in like a exacerbated loop of whatever they were doing prior.
Yeah.
And that's why they
See,
said when they turned Nikki, he was already mad. Don't turn him. It's going to get worse, right?
yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to get to with this comment, was that Daniel's going to need human interaction soon, or he's going to crack like Nikolai. I don't think he's going to crack like Nikolai, because Nikolai was already bipolar before he became a vampire. As far as we know, Daniel doesn't have any mental
he
issues.
just has substance abuse disorder.
He just has trauma. He was an addict, but like his cracking, I see him cracking, but not in the same way, not in like a madness type of way. Because, like I said, Nikolai was already like bipolar. So, this is the one instance where I'll defend Gabriella, where she was just like,
"Don't turn him.
Don't turn him. It's not gonna end well for you. He's already mad."
Because here's the thing,
if you add that madness to eternity, it's just gonna get worse.
We see Daniel. He also relapses. He was clean. Like, Daniel was clean, and then he turned into a vampire. What does he do? He drinks from somebody who's already done coke. Like, he's reverting back to what he already was. And it's just happening more and more and more extreme and more exacerbated. Which, again, why Gabriella was like, he's already mad. You already kind of fell out of love with him. He's already not doing well. If you turn him, he will go nuts. Like, even more nuts than he already is. And then that's what happens.
Oh yeah, no, so we haven't gotten to Gabriella yet. No. We're gonna get to Gabriella. We have not gotten to Gabriella yet.
No, she gotta go to hell.
Yeah, but somebody said, "What's up with Daniel's Parkinson? He still has tremors, as seen in episode 2. It didn't get fixed after." I didn't notice him having any tremors in episode 2.
I gotta double watch it again. Like, look closely.
Maybe I gotta go.
You can miss a lot of stuff. Like, I just caught the line where he says, "Oh, vampires, we're just like you." Like, I caught that today. So, like, definitely need to rewatch and, like, look at stuff and hear stuff more. And
yeah, maybe I need to go back and look. But as far as, like, I know, with him being a vampire, he shouldn't have that anymore.
Yeah, I think it fixes the ailments. Because, remember, Gabriella was dying of tuberculosis.
Yeah, she was dying of tuberculosis. And
then also Claudia was almost burnt to death. And so the vampirism healed her and reversed any, like, signs.
But it could also be this too. Like, it's still Eric Bogosian. He's a 73-year-old man.
Yeah,
so
it could just be the actor. Like, it honestly could just be one of those things.
But with that said, talking about the actor, like, you know, seeing Lestat, you know, divulging his story and telling, and like, when I found out that whole conversation happened telepathically.
It's the fact that nobody said shit.
That's also the thing. Like, why didn't nobody say anything? So I'm like, did he like also like telepathically mess with them to keep them from saying?
No, because remember the guy was like, "Oh, it was weird for like 30 minutes. Y'all were just staring at each other." Nobody tapped Daniel on the shoulder.
But why would nobody be like, "So are we not like the fact that nobody said anything is kind of
what made rolling." Like, I was like, "What?" I'm like, did absolutely no one go, "Hey, Daniel, why are you just staring at him like that?"
Or not even, because I feel like Daniel was talking to.
He said that the guy, I think it was a PA or some shit. He was like, "Yeah, man, it was weird. You guys were just staring at each other for 30 minutes and not saying anything."
Oh, okay. So he was okay.
He was also in a trance. They did all that shit in their heads.
But I wonder if he included Gabriella in that too, because there were moments that Gabriella responded.
I think he probably was
actually no, because he can't, because that's her. She's our maker, so he wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh no, exactly. And then also too, when I think it only occurs after he says, "Can you get out of my eye line?"
Yeah. But that's also So that's also part of it. I think that's what started it, because the guy that he said, "Can you get out of my eye line?" Lestat saw him as Nikki, which is why he said, "Can you get out of my eye line?" Because he's seeing Nikki at that point. Because as much as he tries to pretend that he's not bothered by talking about his past, it's clearly starting to drum up.
There's a lot of the same stuff that was happening to Louis in season 2, like the hallucinations, like seeing people from your past, and seeing kind of like.
Which just goes to tell you, like, becoming a vampire just makes you a level of schizophrenic.
Yeah, I think it's because, like, you hear all those voices all the time, too. Like, you're just, like, constantly tapped into something. And then also, as, like, somebody that lives forever and is stuck in, like, whatever state you were when you returned, like, there's no such thing as, like, kind of shedding, like, things naturally. You know what I mean? Like over time, things are supposed to get blurry. Things are supposed to get like, and then you just kind of experience this amalgamation of everything you've ever gone through ever, but it's been 250 years instead of like 30.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Speaking of craziness, let's talk about the vampire Gabriella.
She gotta go to hell. Gabriella, you must go to hell. Like oh, Lestat, baby, you're a victim. She's this.
Oh, hold on. Actually, this might be a good point. Would Gabriella be able to see half of the telepathic conversation if she's looking into Daniel's mind? So maybe.
We see in season 1 when Antoinette is relaying the stuff back to Lestat because she can read Claudia and Louis' minds, but he can't.
Yeah. So maybe that's how she was able to participate in the conversation.
And then she does ask him a question too. She's like, "Oh, is he boring you?" Like things like that. So yeah.
So with that said, speaking of Gabriella, in the middle of the interview, well, first when they first arrived at the interview,
and
she saw Yarda. And
also, it's so funny. Like a quick aside, and I'll get right back into it. It's the fact that they're both played by Sam Reed, and he looks so different for some reason.
He looks so different.
He looks so different. Like
if you told me that was a different actor, they just found somebody that actually looks like him, I would believe it.
I was like, I know that's like, Sam Reed, but that does not look like
him. It looks like him, but it doesn't look like him.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that is Sam Reed. I know consciously that's Sam Reed, but that looks nothing like him, and it's so freaky to me.
It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird.
He's a great actor, like, and it's so funny. I got to when I interviewed him, I met him too in person. Like, I'm just like, damn, you're a really good actor. Because like, where the fuck do all these people come from? I'm like, where do these people come from? That you are not the same as that, and you are not the same as that. Like, kudos. But yeah, no, she clogs Yarda, and she's immediately just, and also too, like we noticed
the second she saw him, she got aroused.
we noticed Lestat too, kind of like referring to her still as Sophia, kind of being like, yeah, about that. Let's not like get into it right now, like just kind of like deflecting as much as possible. And the only time he doesn't do that is initially when he's kind of at his lowest, at his weakest, he calls to her. And then after that whole thing, he's very like visibly disinterested and very visibly like, no, like please get away from me. And then she like kind of clocks that, she sees Yarda, and she's like, you know what's a completely normal thing to do right now? Oh, like what?
Have sex with my son's doppelganger.
Like, and it's so cursed because again, they're both played as like by Sam Reed. I'm like, this. Oh, I just like perceived that again. I was watching the episode underneath a blanket on a plane. I'm glad I had the blanket.
And this too. This what makes it worse.
She told him to put the wig on. Get on. And I noticed too, like when I didn't notice this one because again I was watching on smaller screen, so I couldn't like perceive. But she's like rubbing up and touching up on his leg, and Lestat's like watching her do that, and it's like what?
And trying not to get pissed off, trying not to get pissed.
Like,
and we can say one thing: at least Lestat was professional. He didn't stop the interview. He kept going,
he locked in,
even though he's just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like he knew what was about to happen. He knows his mother, and he didn't approve of it. And Gabriella is the type of person that like.
What did she say to him? What did she say to Yarda to get him to do that?
To get him to, she said something like put it like she was rubbing on his leg.
And I'm just like, was Yarda just down? Like what the? I was like.
I mean, we see Yarda is getting.
When he shakes his head, you hear rocks. But like,
we see Yarda is getting his cheek clapped everywhere. Like he's loving playing, like the fact that he got herpes on his lips. So clearly, Yarda is in the streets.
Yarda's in the trees, in the breeze. Like,
but she don't got to worry about herpes. She's a vampire.
She's a vampire. She's fine. But like, I was like, what the? I'm like, what did you say to this man? Like, oh, you look like my son. Let's go. Like,
she probably didn't say that. She probably just said, I want to give you everything I got.
Oh, like, and
I want to give you everything I got, but you have to ask for it.
Oh, like I'm just like, and then being loud as hell to make sure that everyone knew what.
And that's the thing, but like Gabriella is the type of toxic person in your life that the moment you set boundaries for yourself, they try to make the boundaries that you set your problem. So like. Oh. Lestat set that boundary of saying we probably should. And granted, there's still some moments of like lines being crossed. He still has feelings for her. The relationship is still kind of weird, but for the most part, they haven't really slept together since we saw episode
the first
1 or
episode.
2.
And she was weird with. That's the thing too. It's like she was weird with him before the vampirism.
Oh yeah, most definitely. When she was rubbing
like,
her,
and this is
the moment
like,
he became the wolf killer is when her pussy started getting wet.
like man, here's the thing too. Like that whole scene is kind of like there's bar for bar like lines from the book into the show, and like so that whole thing that she says like talking about like getting with guys like stripping naked and going into like the fountain, like doing all that is like bar for bar from the book. So like that's why I got kind of shocked when people were like, oh, I didn't know it would go there even after they themselves had read the book. And I'm just like, is that a normal thing to say to your kid, to you?
No.
Like
which also another Easter egg when the interview first started. He was like, I'm the Vampire Lestat, the light of the sun might kill me. That's how the book opens.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I think about when people were like shocked and like, oh, why'd they make it I'm like, first of all, the whole series made the subtext explicit.
Yeah, everything is explicit because even the gayness in the book was not explicit.
The sex, because they don't physically have sex in like the books. The blood drinking is like the eroticism and part of it, and also 70s, censorship.
Yeah, the 70s. Yeah,
and so
she didn't want her book to go down as just a gay romance or whatever.
And so but also it's very explicit when you read Interview with the Vampire and like the Vampire Lestat, like they have feelings they are married, like they are romantically involved, like that is the nature of their relationship. Even before this series came out, I was just delighted to see that they didn't put it as subtext and it was actual text. I loved that. But like the movie as well, like we're just like no, like they're married, like that's what this relationship is. And so I was kind of shocked to find that people were shocked that they did the same thing with his mother, because in the books I'm like, no, she was saying some weird shit to him too. Were you reading that, not picking up what she was putting down? Like why would you tell your kid the way that you would have people like turn you sideways?
And yeah, I haven't read. I just started the book. Like I'm only like not even halfway through. Like he just became a vampire where I am in the book, so that's still very early.
Yeah,
in the book.
And so
that scene where she I read and granted I read it after I saw like the first episode, the premiere. And so that was taken word for word from the book.
It was a word for word thing, and I'm just like, no, she was already weird. Like it was all.
Well, like going back to what I was saying earlier about like she's the person that was toxic in your life, but you still kind of want to keep them around or whatever. But then the moment you set up boundaries, they try to make your boundaries your problem, as if you're the problem. Like she clearly wanted to piss him off. Because not only did she do that in front of him, like groping on him, telling him to put on the wig, going into the bathroom, and then looking back at him to make sure he sees her going into the bathroom with him. But then to put the cherry on top to make it even worse, the fact that she is hooting and hollering.
No, like that whole thing.
You cannot tell me, with her being a vampire, with as many people, men and probably women and boys, according to her, that she's fucked. Yarda is dicking her down as good as she's like, for her to be screaming at her. There's no way he's fucking her that good for her to be screaming, hooting, and hollering. No, she's doing that on purpose because she knows Lestat is gonna hear it.
She did that literally deliberately. She was just like, so you should know this too. Like that's what she did. Like she pulled that. She was just like, she looked into the camera and was like, actually, like, and then you see his face like during the interview when he starts hearing like the hooting and hollering. And you see him do that thing where he smiles and you know he's pissed.
Yeah.
Like you see it in his face. He's like.
But I was like, ain't no way that dick is that good for her to be screaming that loud.
She literally says it. She literally tells Lestat afterwards. She tells him afterwards it wasn't that good. Like he was like, oh yeah, no, like something about him being like, oh yeah, it's like over in like 5 minutes, like shit like that, like. Which again, what? And then immediately is like, let's go on a date. Ew, bitch. Like,
but she was a terrible mother. Even going back to like this, what you said. What's crazy too is that she took Lestat to a witch trial when he was 9, and Lestat said they didn't when they didn't have Legos and Peppa Pig back then. And I'm gonna call Daniel out on it. Like, I'm actually surprised that Daniel was surprised that that's something that happened to us. It's like,
yeah, that's like the least weird thing that happened to him.
That is the least weird thing to happen to him. But not only that, but like, Daniel is also a journalist. Daniel is also a smart man. Daniel seems like he's a person that's a student of history.
Yeah.
White people used to take their kids to lynchings of black people
shit.
And take pictures and have picnics and take chop off body parts of black people and take it home as souvenirs and things like that. Like, it's literally the same thing.
They used to use like our hair and shit, like to stuff pillows and furniture and shit. Like, it was,
yeah, they would take their kids to that, like have little babies, black babies, going into alligator pits and watch the alligators eating up
they would make a day of it. Like,
the kids were at that. Like, it's basically the same thing. So for like Daniel to be like shocked, that I'm like, Daniel, you know history. Like, come on.
Like, I think, and even if he did, I think he's just doing it because he's being like, that's his extremism. Like, that's the extreme part of him just being like, yeah, what trials? Get onto the crying. Like, get onto like the stuff that we really want to hear. Like,
because that's what he really wants. He wanted him to cry the blood tears because he was excited.
Damn, like, they're all so. I love this toxic like mix of everyone.
But yeah, even when she was screaming, Yarda looked confused because he's like,
literally, I just see his face. Like,
he's like, damn. He's like, damn, I must be giving it good. Like,
Yarda's like the embodiment of like, does he know? Period. Like, not does he know he's alive? Not does he know what's going on? Like, does he know?
No.
Period.
Lestat said he's the Neanderthal version of me. Like, Yarda doesn't seem like he's operating with all screws.
I feel like his inside of his brain is just do.
Like, even the way he's like maybe and that could also be a Sam Reed thing of trying to like separate the cat. Like, you don't want to have him talk too much because then it's like you'll be able to tell this, but not
even because like
we don't really see Yarda even like full sentences.
His physicality is so different too, like from what we see, like beyond anything else. I'm just like, damn, like that I know that's Sam Reed. That's so freaking weird. Like, it looks nothing like him for some reason.
But of course, it pissed Lestat off, like to the point, which also goes to show how powerful he is. Just by going, he flew that motherfucker like across.
That's so funny.
Which Gabriella, she thought that was hilarious.
Also with her, like, okay, I want to talk more about Gabriella too, because like, again, she gotta go to hell. But like, she when we see her in like the flashbacks, first of all, her and Armand just like rage baiting each other for a good 10 minutes was so funny in the box.
I know. That is the scene with Armand, Louis, the scene with Armand, why am I drawing a blank? Gabriella and Lestat in the box was probably my favorite scene, only because it just goes to show how much of a bird Armand is, how much of a sucker Armand is, how much like the fact, and granted, this is all from Lestat's perspective, but I believe this 1000%. Like, I've seen this episode maybe like 4 times, and every single time Armand leans over to Lestat and goes, "I love you, Lestat," and Lestat is just like, "Oh Christ," and he's like, "I need to get out of here because there's not enough room in this box for your desperation." I crack up every single time because I 1000% believe that actually happened.
I believe it too, and I also love the fact that like Armand cut Gabriella out of his fan fiction. He was like, "Man, fuck that bitch. I don't want her."
Because he's jealous. He's jealous. And even Assad Zaman said Armand is always the eternal third wheel. Truth of the matter is, I don't think he ever wanted Louis. He really wants Lestat.
He's like, basically, it's like you know in Yellow Jackets where like, you've seen Yellow Jackets, right?
I've seen the first 2 seasons. I didn't see
okay, cool. Where, like, you know how Shauna like is like, "Oh, I can't have Jackie. I guess I'm gonna fuck her boyfriend." Like, basically that. Like, that's what he did. He was like, "Oh, I can't have Lestat. He don't want me. I guess I'm gonna marry his husband." Like, Like that no. But also Gabriella, like her just giggling all the time and just laughing at the most insane shit all the time. Like, wow, you're nuts. Like you're wow. Like you're just really like that. Okay. Like the fact that Lestat is the most sane person in his house. Okay. Damn, I
Fact.
see where he gets it from. But like her laughing when like Nikki was like losing his mind and like cutting off his own hand, like her laughing at Armand and being like, "Oh, you think he's the only
And
one?"
to be fair with that, she did warn him, and
She did.
exactly what she suspected was going to happen is what happened. And like, and I'm gonna make a separate video about this for like TikTok and things like that. But with that said, let me like hop on my soapbox really quickly. Let me hop on my soapbox really quickly. For a brief second, and I'm gonna take what you said. Gabriella needs to go to hell. She's a terrible character, but she's a terrible person.
Good character, bad.
She's a terrible mother. She's a good character. But with that said, I'm gonna defend Gabriella for a second. Like I mentioned, she's a terrible person. She's a terrible mother. But when you think about the circumstances that she had to go through, this is exactly why she is the way she is. And we've seen, granted, I feel like that we could have seen a little bit more had we had more episodes as opposed to just 7 episodes. They could have spent more time showing Lestat's past. But Gabriella is also a victim. She's a victim that became a victimizer.
Yeah.
And
like Gabriella, especially like book Gabriella, it's a tad bit different, less like outwardly quote unquote sadistic.
And part of the reason that like we have this level of hatred towards her is because she's a terrible mother, and we also love Lestat, and so we see the way she's treating Lestat.
And Lestat's also a terrible mother, all things considered.
Yeah, true. But like we're just like, oh, she's being bad. She's being bad to it. But it's like, let's also think from her perspective. She's a woman that had 8 kids that she didn't want any of those kids. She was put in a situation that she was forced into. She didn't want to be with Lestat's father. She was forced to have 8 kids. She was forced to basically be a housewife in a world that she didn't want to be. And as a woman at that time, especially being an educated woman, a woman that was speaking out, that is completely unheard of during that time. And she was abused by her husband and her kids, which also technically includes Lestat, because Lestat felt a sort of ownership over her. And so like her becoming a vampire was pretty much her liberation from that level of abuse. It was at that moment that she finally got to do whatever she wanted. She finally got to say what she wanted, do what she wanted, be what she wanted, go where she wanted. And so like, yeah, she's a terrible mother, but that's also because she never wanted to be a mother.
Yeah.
She had a level of affection towards Lestat. Out of all her kids, Lestat is the one she liked the most, but she still did not like or want to be around Lestat. She just saw Lestat as a version of her.
It's like an extension of herself.
Like to live vicariously through him, because she knew that as a woman, she couldn't do the things that she wanted to do. So he could. And so by that extension, I'm going to connect myself to this man. And then when you add the fact that he turned her, becoming her maker, and the vampire bond, there's a level of affection there, but it's really not. There's really she has no real obligation towards him. That's also why when he created that boundary, what she did, she lashed out. But then also jumping to the end where Lestat is slowly starting to accept himself and like deal with his trauma to the point that he flew up in the air, like he felt free. What happened? We saw Magnus leaving, so that hallucination left. And then who also left? Gabriella.
Yeah. And like it's like, it's such a complicated thing, because like on one end too, I think like the reason why it's so visceral, because it's like it's very like incest is one of those things where it's like, oh damn, like you really just fucked your kid. Okay, like it's one of those like looking at it in the scope of like, this is somebody that was never going to be free in the circumstances that she was given, and then expected to die, essentially. Like literally was just like, okay, this is my life and I ended it, and now this is the end of it, goodbye. And then kind of having the only salvation brought to you by the one person that you viewed as an extension of yourself is like, it's like a mind fuck. Like, and that's basically what vampirism is in this whole thing. It's like just kind of this weird, I'm trying to think about like a good way to put this. Like weird thing where like suddenly all of these societal norms don't matter anymore. Even though they absolutely do in a lot of aspects.
So in many ways, it's almost like the moment she realizes that he's like dealing with this trauma and like she can't get out of him what she used to because he also put up that boundary, which is very different. And he's like moving in a certain way. She's like, all right, I'm out. Like
I have no.
Obviously, we're probably going to see her. We're gonna see her in other episodes, whatever, yada yada yada. But like, she's like, I have no reason to be here anymore because I can't get nothing. He even
says like, I've seen you twice in the past, like what century?
Yeah, in the past century.
And like he's seen her twice, 2 times,
in 100 years, yeah.
And she's just only been exactly what she said, like just belonging to nothing and no one.
Because she's out living her life. She's lived doing because, and that also informs like when you think about season 1, where Lestat, like he said, my biggest fear is being alone. The vampire loneliness, which even Daniel said, I get now.
Yeah, because on other levels, like the only. And then from what I've seen, like in the series, at least, like Lestat, he says, "Oh yeah, they're collecting fledglings like Labubu dolls." I'm like, bro, so are you. Like you turn every person that shows you an inkling of anything. Like he turned Nicholas, he turned his mother, he turned Louis. Like you turn Claudia for Louis. Like he's going out just biting everybody. Like, and it's in this effort to like get at least one that wants to stay. And it's just not happening. Like, it's so sad. Like,
so with that said, in terms of like wanting to get somebody to stay, I do kind of want to address because I have seen a lot of comments like this coming up because like the show isn't really following Louis anymore. So they're saying like something is missing from the show, or it's not as interesting, or it's not as compelling, being that Louis not the main character. In a lot of ways, I do get that because, you know, you have somebody as great as Jacob Anderson. Not to say Sam Reed isn't just as great, but also if you look at people that maybe, because there are a lot of people that are watching that haven't read the book, that don't know the source material, but then also there's a lot of Black and Brown fans that have gotten into this show because of Jacob Anderson, Salomon, and Delaney, Claudia Bailey Bass at first for season 1, and then Delaney Hales for season 2. So you got 3 actors of color. They're more center. For season 1, Sam Reed was number 2 on the call sheet, but for season 2, he kind of took a back seat. But the show is mostly following these people of color, and especially a character like Louis. He's not a character that you see in fantasy genre shows. So, you know, especially like somebody like me, a Black gay man, you know, and you're also seeing a Black gay character be the protagonist, the lead of a fabulous show. And it's really good.
Yeah.
And then you get to, you know, the 3rd season where now this character is taking a back seat. He's not as involved, kind of like where I don't even want to say how Lestat was in season 2, because I feel like Louis is less involved than even Lestat. Like I feel like Lestat was still in every scene, even if he was a hallucination, he was still there more than I feel like even Louis is in this season. So like you train your Black and Brown audience to be attached to Louis, and then it's like you take that away. It's like I also get why people are like, and then also not even just that, but the scenes where the two of them together, it's like that courtroom thing, I could have watched an entire episode with them arguing.
They are so good together on screen. And like Jacob Anderson as Louis, like I loved him this episode. Oh my God. I need to see like a billion people dressed up in that bloody tank top with a cigarette for Halloween. It's giving like it was giving. And so him like just having those like scenes centric on him and his like mission and him doing what he had to do, that was a really big highlight in this episode, because especially since it closed up a loose end from season 1. And I love shit that like closes up loose ends. I love that so much when you like show us something and then it does come back, or you show us someone and they come back. But like it's I think that a lot of fans that loved episode like seasons 1 and 2 especially will love episode 3 for that exact reason. And I know a lot of people again like didn't read the book, so again I was like prepared for the tonal shift. Louis is in this more than he is in the books.
Yeah,
Like
because like going with this comment, it was like, I love Louis. Oh wait, no, not this one. Where it's like, well, Louis was the main character in seasons 1 and 2. It's about time Lestat gets his turn. Lestat's gonna have all the turns. Like outside of the first book, Louis basically becomes a nothing character.
A secondary character. The rest of the series,
it's all Lestat. Lestat.
Like it becomes the Lestat show. Like it does. And so I do understand like the kind of whiplash that people would get if they don't expect that.
Book Louis is not.
Book Louis is not
show Louis.
He is not
like,
show
that's
Louis.
That's why like so many people keep telling me like, oh, you need to read the interview with the vampire book. Like it's really good. And I'm just like, but that's not my Louis. That's not my Louis.
It's a very different Louis. And I will say full confidence, I do like the show better. I do like the show's depiction of Louis better. I do like their handling of certain topics better. Like, and it's not to say that again, this all started with like my love for like the movie and then the books. Like it started with that source material. But I think as a story especially for like 2020's audience, like it's a better vehicle and they are better characters to tell that story, because the energy of the series is still very much the same as the books, but the characters themselves are
like the skeleton is the same, but the organs are completely different.
Yes, the skeletons are basically perfect. Like the skeleton is the same. The story itself is the same for all intents and purposes. It is the same story. But
so I really hope like going forward they do the same thing, because the Vampire Lestat, Louis is barely a character in the book.
Yeah, but they include him more.
He's in basically every episode of this. I hope they continue that throughout all the other seasons, like because like I said, in all the other books he's barely a character. I hope they figure out a way to keep Jacob Anderson in every episode.
I think they will, because they've done a good job of changing things up and adapting things in different time periods and adapting it for the amount of time they have, and having everyone be as fleshed out as possible, despite the fact that, again, I wish things had like 20 episode seasons again.
Agreed.
But we're probably not going to get that.
At least 15. I'm like, okay, if
at
not
least 15, episodes, like the pit.
At least 15. Or even like True Blood gave us 12 episodes. Like, why can't we get at least 12 episodes?
I feel I wish.
Well, like 13, like the pit.
Yeah,
I think
15 is 15.
I think I was gonna say this season was 15 episodes. Like, why can't we get 15 episodes? I feel like that's a great.
I think
that's not too much. That's not too much. That's not too little.
Yeah, and I hope that things start going back there more. But however, especially with the way the series as it is formatted, I do like the fact that we're already seeing more than we would have otherwise. And I love that we're seeing still like Louis be an active participant and an active member in the show, because I would have been very sad if I didn't see Louis as he is in the series on the screen anymore. Like it would have been a point off for me, because I'm just like he's what makes a lot of the reason everyone's crashing out is because Louis fine as shit. Like basically, I'm just like the reason everyone is crashing out is because of Louis. So
Jacob Anderson, Louis DuPont de Lac is the Helen of Troy.
Helen of Troy
of the vampire world.
Like everyone's losing their minds because Lestat.
Over this man.
Oh, because Lestat was just like, you know what, I choose you, and then everyone's like, well, I choose him actually. You found it, I'm taking it.
Even Gabriella was just like, he is beautiful.
Yeah. He's like, I understand why you gave him a daughter. And I'm just like, yep, basically. Because if he came to me with those puppy dog eyes, I'd be like, I'd be like, you know what, yeah, actually. We're parents now. But like that's the thing where it's like I'm glad that he's an active participant in this.
With
season.
that said, let's get into his scene where he's taking out. He's gone full John Wick.
John Wick.
the bride from Kill Bill on all these vampires.
was such a well done scene. It reminded me of the scene, like initially when he goes up to the house and he's just like, "Have you guys seen Killer?" But he's like asking the question, and as he's doing that, he's like slicing people. He's like, "No, you're not Killer." Like him just being so casual about the whole thing, and you just hear what's going on in that one shot. And it's giving when the Paris Coven went to that one house, and he and Armand were having like
standing outside, yeah,
and they're just terrorizing these people inside. You hear screaming, people are falling out windows, and they're just like, "Yeah, so the weather." Like, it's such good comedic timing.
But that scene also goes to show how powerful Louis is. The fact that he was able to take out all of those vampires easily.
He's been doing that too. He's been going around and just like
yeah, because apparently they said he killed 35,
31, I think, in Dubai, including like this David Talbot, or
Agent David Talbot,
including him. And so he killed, like, he mass serial killed, murdered, whatever. Whenever he did it, depends.
And granted, he said, like, I only go after people that go after me.
Yeah,
so
and I'm just
clearly, like we think about the end of season 2, he's like, all those vampires is like, oh, he put out this book, we need to go after him, yada yada. So clearly, those vampires were going after him because of the book.
Yeah, and he was just like, you know what? Come to my house, see what happens. And like, we see what happens. Like, he goes in, he takes out the trash.
Cash me outside. How about that?
He calls the food Ubers, and then he's badass. Like, I love him. I love that crazy mass murderer. Like, he's great. Like,
and the thing about, like you said, he's like, I love when shows close the loop. Like, not even just the fact that, like, because I didn't think Bruce was a character we would ever see again.
Oh no, I figured that he would, because he was like a composite character from the books. That's why she said you look more like a killer. So I was sure that they were gonna make him Killer from like the actual like Fang Gang.
But not even just that, but even like bringing back the pages of Claudia's diary.
I did not know if we were ever going to know what they said. And
exactly. I didn't know if we were ever going to know what those pages said.
I would have been content to not ever, because I think it still would have had the same impact. But I do like that the way that it was depicted and the way that it was read off was during Bruce's comeuppance, essentially. Like, I like the fact that it wasn't brought up in a different context if it was going to be brought up at all. They brought it up to basically psychologically torture the asshole that did it, and then is Claudia?
No, Claudia is dead. We saw the death. Yeah, we saw the lynching. Basically,
Claudia is dead as fuck. Like,
she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah,
unless they pull up Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 3, where a witch calls her from the grave. We got to get Willow Rosenberg from Buffy.
Yeah, like
to bring her back from the dead. Claudia is dead.
Claudia's dead as hell. She unfortunately is very dead. The one that we see at the end, the one that Louis was talking about,
Regina. I'm like, wait, are we doing Vampire Diaries?
Where no, they have doppelgangers. That's Lestat.
We see Yarda.
Yeah, Lestat
Yarda looks exactly like Lestat,
except like 2 inches shorter, like different eye color.
Yeah, different accent and
different accent,
walk.
dumb as hell. Like, just
I'm at Regina, like different accent.
Oh yeah, different.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Yarda, and I was like, oh, he's dumb as hell.
No.
But yeah, like, she's like a different person. Like, she's not Claudia. She's just a doppelganger.
So, which is crazy.
Which is nuts. Like, she did say that she would haunt them. Like, she did say that she would like haunt them and find some form.
Kudos to the writers of, like, they love Delaney so much that they're like, we're figuring out. She's coming back. I was so
happy that she was able to come back, because that was another thing too. Like, I love Claudia so much. I love the actor for Claudia, and I was like, I really hope that they do something that they've done in the books as well. And we get to see her again, because I really, really enjoy her, and I just was hoping that she'd have a place in the story, and she does. So
let me actually ask you this. I'm not going to participate in this conversation because I've seen the first 6 episodes. Granted, I don't know what happens in episode 7. I don't know what they might do in season 4. But what do you think is going to happen with this Regina character?
Oh, I really fucking hope that. First of all,
Louis, do you think Louis is going to turn her?
Louis, you need to leave that bitch alone. Like, I understand. Like, I understand. I get it. I get She looks like your dead kid. I get it. You're messed up. I get it. She is just a random woman. Like, she is just trying to live. She's a waitress, bro. She's working below minimum wage at a diner. You need to stop playing in her face. Like, you need to walk out the diner. I know since she's here, it's going to be significant. Also, did you notice that episode 3 they introduced Regina, and episode 3 is when we first get an inclination that we're going to get Claudia in season 1. In season 1, episode 3, that's where we get our first mention of Claudia. And then in season 3, we get in episode 3 of season 3, we get Regina.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
okay.
in the 3rd episode, we keep getting a Claudia. But like, I know that because they've introduced her, and this show is not one of those shows that introduces something and then we never see it again. We will see things again if they show it to us. If they mention it to us, there will be a through line. Whether it's across seasons or across episodes, there will be a through line. So I know that bitch isn't safe. I unfortunately
I can at least tell you this: we're gonna see more Regina in episode 4.
Okay, because I'm just like,
that wasn't what you see her and then we never see. Yeah, we're gonna see Regina. We're gonna see Regina again in episode 4.
In the preview for episode 4 too. Like, we see that she's gonna be there.
Oh yeah, so I guess it's not a spoiler. Yeah,
it's not a spoiler now. She's gonna be there because we see her in the preview for episode 4. And I fear that she's.
And she's in episode 5, so I'm gonna.
This feels like some crossfire ass shit. Like, you need to leave that poor woman alone. You need to leave well enough alone. You need to go to the diner, order coffee one time, be like,
this is a great call out.
Her
uniform is yellow too.
I don't think Louis hallucinating.
No, the uniform. I don't think he's hallucinating.
I think.
And then also we saw her interacting with other
people. So like, I don't think he's hallucinating. I think that's a costuming decision from the costume department and from the writing department, because the last time we see Claudia alive, she's wearing yellow. And so this iteration of what he perceives to be somebody who looks like his daughter, she is introduced wearing yellow. I think that is just a decision that was meant to be, holy shit, she's wearing yellow again. I can't do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was meant to be a thing that you clock as like a detail.
Which I also find it's smart that they say, oh, Claudia made it to her 20s, because Delaney is actually
she's like 27.
She's like 27, yeah.
It's so funny too, because again with her as well, she looks so different from Claudia. Like, she looks like herself, obviously.
She looks way older now, even though
I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, huh? Like,
even though she was in her 20s in season 2, but she still I don't know. There's just something she looked younger.
And I'm like, I know it's styling. I know a lot of stuff is styling. I know lighting, makeup can do a lot. But I was like, damn, y'all are good at your jobs, because she's believably older, even though she's the same age as she was when she was filming this stuff. Like, it's crazy. They do a very good job.
She's a real woman, but he could be hallucinating her face.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, because like I said, we already seen that they have doppelgangers with Yarda.
Exactly.
So I feel like that was also a foreshadow. So I'm like, if they could do that with Yarda, why not?
I think with the continuity of what we've seen, I do not think he's hallucinating. I think that she is a real person who really looks like Claudia. And that's within the realm of possibility, because we've already seen it. And also the fact that this is not Louis' technical POV. We kind of see him either in Lestat's.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true too. This is Lestat's POV.
We have a different point of view now. This is not Louis telling the story anymore. We have either Lestat's POV or a third-person POV. He's not telling the story anymore.
So that either means that Lestat has seen her as well, or Louis told him about her for him to tell this story.
Exactly. Or again, if it's not Lestat telling that specific part of the story, it is just a third-person objective view of what is going on. In which case, I think that he's not hallucinating. I think that woman looks like Claudia.
Shout out to Black Girl Talks Fangs. Hey, I need to have her on.
His daughter's sister.
But absolutely agree with you both. Vampire Louis needs to take several steps back from Regina because she is not his daughter's sister.
No,
she might be. He might turn her. That might be another
so,
way of keeping Delaney Hales in the show.
No,
becoming
that is so
Claudia, not Claudia.
Do you know there's a crazy
Louis already needs therapy. Like
there is a crazy thing that happens in the books, and I don't know if they're gonna incorporate it in any way. Again, I know you've seen up to episode 6, so I'm not gonna. If I say anything that sounds familiar,
oh no, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Shit.
Even if you say something that's true, I'm just gonna nod and smile. Or if you say something that's false, I'm still gonna nod and smile.
So in the books, like Armand performs like a horrific experiment on like Claudia. And like Claudia, like you know how they talk about beheading in the show, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like one of the only ways to kill a vampire, but depending on how old you are,
you can survive. Because one of the doctors mentioned that somebody as powerful as Lestat
could survive for hours,
like at least like 10 hours. Wait,
yeah.
he said 2 hours times 5. So he could survive at least like 10 hours without his head.
So at a certain point, I forgot exactly where this is stated, but this is in like one of the books. Like they behead Claudia, like 5-year-old small Claudia in the books, right? And in an attempt to have her grow up, they put her head onto the body of a grown woman, and it creates like this. It's horrifying. Like it's this horrific thing. And they have to nix that, put her back where she's supposed to be, because it doesn't work. But they attempt to like experiment and see if they can put her on a grown woman's body. And it's disgustingly horrific, but it doesn't work. And so I don't know if the introduction of Regina is going to be an attempt to basically, because they do have ghosts in the Vampire Chronicles. Claudia does appear as a ghost in that,
which I believe we also see ghosts in Mayfair Witches, which nobody's watching.
Yeah, no, I tried to rewatch season 1 the other day, and I was like, man.
I tried to go back. I watched the first 5 episodes, which I did review on here. If you haven't seen that, you can check out my review for the first 5 episodes of Mayfair Witches. Couldn't finish the season, but I was like, you know what? Because I do love witches, blood, sex, gore, and magic. I showed the tattoo, blood, sex, gore, and magic, and I love me some witches. And I was like, I want to love this world. So I'm just like, okay, let me go back and watch season 2. I watched the premiere of season 2, and I was just like, I can't. And then the same thing for the Talamasca. I was excited about the Talamasca, and then I watched the first 5 episodes, and I was just like, I can't. No, I watched the whole season of the Talamasca.
Didn't it get canceled too?
Oh no, it got canceled, and I was like,
I haven't
because
seen it yet.
Garbage.
Yeah, I have not seen the Talamasca. I was like, I don't think I need to watch this.
I'm like, y'all need to hire Roland Jones and Hannah Moskowitz to run this entire. I'm like, Mark Johnson as the producer, as the steward of this world. Clearly, you knew what you were doing with Interview with the Vampire, but for the rest of the end, I'm like, it's not working. Y'all need to figure something out. Like
it's not. It doesn't feel like it belongs in the same place, if that makes any sense.
And like for Mayfair Witches, there was barely any witching in a show about witches.
No,
like,
it was
the magic.
It was a very nothing burger of a show. Like it was like a very. I tried to rewatch it, and I was like, I feel like I'm learning nothing. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, I feel like nothing is actually clocking to me, and it's very hard for a show to do that to me. And I think
like I'm expecting like charm levels of like the object of objection become but a dream as I cause the scene to be unseen. The power of 3 was set. Like, where's the magic? Like, there's no magic in a magic show.
No, it was just it was very difficult to actually care, and I think that's like a big issue. Like I have a problem where it's like not necessarily a problem, but I have a thing where I'm like, if I can't bring myself to care about these characters in this world, then I don't care.
And that's the same thing I feel about Talamasca. Like, the main character's name is literally Guy, the most generic white guy name. Like, and so I don't care about it. Like, if you're gonna cast, a regular, because it's also not a queer show, which is much like, all right. So if you're gonna give me another straight white man show, like at least make him interesting.
Not Guy.
Nothing. I was not interested. And then also on top of that, like a show like Talamasca, when you think about the Talamasca, they're supposed to chronicle and talk and pinpoint and oversee the entire supernatural world. So I'm thinking we're going to get like a kind of monster of the week show where it's like one episode we might see witches, another episode we might see werewolves, another episode we might see ghosts, another episode so like to expand the Anne Rice universe, but like every episode was about one vampire that they were following. It's like, but I've seen this already. So like, you're not showing me anything new. You're not expanding
I was
the
expecting
world.
a Monster of the Week type show too.
Yeah, like give me like something like Supernatural where they were like going to different cities and doing different urban, like that's kind of what I was expecting from Talamasca. And it's like, you're just following one vampire. It's like, but I've already seen this already. So you're not really expanding the world as this series.
I've already seen vampires at the fucking interview.
Like, this is how this series was marketed to me, as expanding the Anne Rice universe.
Because, like, the thing about like, because in Mayfair Witches we see like other shit too. We see like whatever Cyprian is, where he
you see demons. You see
demons.
Because demons exist in this world.
You see the Taltos. You see like all the other things that are in the universe, and I'm like, I already saw the vampires when we interviewed those hoes. Like, okay, like I understand some vampires sometimes, but like we have a whole vampire show. We don't need like.
But yes, Vampire Jasper, who's the main antagonist, he was made more interesting than the main guy. But to go back to this question, I believe like when he mentioned like a class B vampire, I think that just means a vampire that's not that powerful, that didn't come from like powerful stock. Because part of the reason Armand is so powerful is because his maker Marius was super powerful.
Yeah.
Lestat is because his maker Magnus was super powerful, but not every vampire is as powerful as them. So,
and they can also get stuff from drinking from other vampires, like Lestat with Akasha. Like,
yeah. So, like somebody like a killer, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's like he's considered a powerful vampire.
No, he got his spine ripped out and then caught on fire and died. Like,
yeah, I think he's just a generic regular the Fang Gang, the Tooth Gang.
Do you see how fast like two people, including Daniel, who just got there, cleared them out? Like, they're not
like they're regular. I would consider that. I think they're just regular vampire. Yeah, stronger than any human, but they're not like
doesn't mean anything against.
They're not like powerful
50-year-old vampire or a vampire with the blood of Armand in them.
Yeah,
like,
so I think that's what he means by class B vampire. Somebody's basically like, if you're a fan of X-Men, like you have your Omega level mutants, you have your Alpha level mutants, Beta, etc. So like, I think that's kind of what they mean by class B.
Yeah, and so like, oh my god, but yeah, fuck Bruce. Bruce also got to go to hell, and he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he did. And so, oh my god, Baby Jinx, the guy that she's marrying, not only being Bruce, but a vampire. Like, the fact that that was always like the way that they were gonna spend that. That's so funny. First of all, clever. Second of all, like.
And it's so funny that she like had sex with Lestat. It was just like,
I'll never forget you.
I'll never forget you. I'm getting married in a week. Like, and it's like the fact that like she's a character I never thought we were gonna see again. It's like
no. She's a person in the book. Like she's a girl.
Okay.
And so like the way that they put her into this narrative specifically was like, I was like, oh, that's clever. But like first of all, again, Louis, why did you leave her alive? Like,
yeah, why did you leave? Like, as a fan of fiction in general, I haven't read the books. I don't know. I know some stuff about the Anne. Like, I've looked up stuff and things like that. So I have some, but I don't know anything. Like this Baby Jenks character, I know nothing about her. But just in fiction in general, you never leave the person alive after you slaughter like
everyone they know,
everyone in front of them.
Fresh husband, like
yeah.
The paper on the marriage certificate wasn't even dry yet. Like, damn. And also to the nerve of this guy. Also, the Armand was right stuff, or like Armand told the truth. Like, what do we think about this, friend? Like, what?
They're crazy. Like the fact that they're Armand truthers, it's giving Thanos is right.
Oh my god! That the in-universe Thanos was right, gang. In Interview with the Vampire, I can't.
Yeah, and that's what it's getting. And like, I love how Lestat was like in episode 1. Armand was what the fuck does that even mean?
No, literally, I almost like, oh my god, because they have the flashes of like the children of the like darkness, like the shitty coven that Armand made, where everybody was just dirty and underground.
Yeah, but I think it's because Bruce kind of mentioned like the vampires, like they feel like because Lestat or even the book is out, it's like basically divulging the truth that vampires walk among. You got Lestat fucking flying in front of people and it's going viral on screen, but you have the vampires that like on Armand, who believes that no human should know that vampires exist and be left alive, that vampires should live in squalor, should live in like the sewer, and and feeding on people in secrecy and think. So it's like, I guess that's it. Armand was right in like you're breaking the rules of being a vampire.
Oh, these messes.
And I also feel like call back to episode 1. I think that is why Lestat said, this is my era now.
Yeah.
Because he gets to live out in the open and still have a level of disconnect to it. Because, like,
yeah,
he's openly saying he's a vampire, but
also, who the hell in real life?
Still also pretending he's not a vampire. That's why he has Yarda. So he has a level of what's the word I'm trying
deniability.
Yeah, plausible deniability. There we go. I was like, what's the word I'm trying to use? Because also you think about the era that we're in with AI or deepfake. So even when something is like legitimately actual factual news, you got people saying alternative facts. Yeah, alternative facts, or it's not real, or no, that's your truth, but that's not my truth. It's like, no, the truth is the truth.
Literally in the first episode when he has that monologue to Daniel. And he's just like, facts are nothing. Feelings are everything.
Yeah, facts are irrelevant. Feels are everything.
People are trying to convince me that Lululemon is sexy. Like, it's just all of these things where it's like nothing is real, so nothing matters. And that's how he's operating.
So with Daniel, he took it as like, it's my era. He's like, but you're not selling out tickets. He's like, no. Like, that's how he took it. But I think Lestat is basically saying, no, it's my era because I get to be out in the open without any fear. You know, I don't have to abide. Like, even when one of the vampires talked about the vampire, he's like, it's 2025, right? Like,
yeah. And then also, too, like, he even said, like, in his narration, he's like, I just wanted to, like, have my sex and play my songs and, like, just do what I was supposed to. Like, I just wanted to have my day. And up and come these vampires gonna rip me apart. And this is the last thing that ever happens to me because I wanted to be a rock star. What the fuck? Like, he was, like, fully mad about like the fact they just wouldn't leave him alone.
Wait, like, are you talking about liking Interview with? There's no wrong reasons of liking. No. Yeah, unless you're talking about.
Unless you're like down and ship, like even then at this fucking point, like I'm just like, as long as you're not hurting anybody in real life, like I can't tell you.
Yeah, there's no wrong reasons to like a show, wrong or right reasons to like a show.
Exactly. I'm just like, this is fiction. This is meant to be consumed and talked about and analyzed.
But no, Armand is plotting. Armand is at that AA meeting. There's no doubt in my mind that Armand being at the same AA meeting that Alex happens to be at is not a coincidence.
It's not. It's absolutely not. A coincidence. He found him specifically. Because he does this thing too, where he's kind of like, because he was always somebody that was like taken or like interacted with while he was in a very vulnerable position. And I think he knows to do that himself. Because like the guy's at an AA meeting, he's an addict, he's like been ostracized, quote unquote, from his group. He hasn't like gone back. He feels this level of like, oh my God, like I'm over here and they're over like playing like in Ohio and they're all doing the stuff. Well, he's in Ohio and they're playing in Toronto. Like he feels left out and isolated and like has already gone through the stuff. And Armand is like, let me just scooch in. Like, let me just like this vulnerable person.
This is actually a pretty good point. I also believe that the length of intervals between the creation of fledglings is important. Louis had great potential because Lestat didn't make one for 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is a good point.
Yeah. And Lestat also, like, basically after Nikki died, he was like, I don't think I want to hang out outside right now. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna go bury myself in a coffin.
Look, I think I'm done.
Absolutely, Molly, you in danger, girl. You in danger, girl.
He's in the mind.
Fact. That's why I said it is not a coincidence.
Armand found his ass. Like,
it is not. Armand put himself in that situation.
Because why would he do that if he wasn't gonna fuck him up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, every time he's involved himself into something, somebody gets fucked up. Like, he was like, oh, Louis, Claudia, that bitch is toast.
Like, no spoilers, but I will say, if you thought Armand was trifling at the end of season 2, if you thought, I'm gonna say it, I think I'm allowed to say it. It's my own fucking channel. I'm gonna do it. I get one. If you thought that nigga was trifling at the end of season 2, by the time, especially you get, because I've only seen episode up to 6, I haven't seen the final episode. By the time you get to the end of episode 6, the level of trifling that Armand reaches is fucking Mount Everest level.
I've already like predetermined that he trifled too close to the sun, i.e. the fact that he's missing a whole ass eye and still walking in cuntily, as if, you know, he didn't do what he did. I don't know what he did yet, but I know he did something.
Yeah, like talk about what you said with like Gabriella needs to go to hell. Armand needs to go to hell.
Of course Armand needs to go to hell. He's an evil gremlin man, but I love him. Like,
what does this say? He's a terrible like he sucks as a person, but I love Assad Zaman as Armand. Like, I love Assad Zaman as Armand, but he needs his ass beat. Like, I swear to God, I was like, Armand, I'm gonna fuck you.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Especially, I'm like, Armand, I'm gonna fuck you up when I catch you outside.
I love.
Meanwhile, I'm human. I can't do shit, but I'm gonna fuck you up.
I love that evil bitch. Here's the thing. He's such an evil bitch, but I love him so much because he's an evil bitch, and his like addition to things. I'm just like, no, you're gonna make things zesty whether we like it or not.
Facts. Armand. At this, like, Armand is so trifling. Anybody else on your list, you're gonna like scratch them off, and it's only Armand.
Armand is the reason why Claudia is dead. He needs his ass beat.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
He's the reason why we don't got Claudia.
The ass beating that Louis gave him at the end of season 2
was not enough.
He's
the reason why we ain't got Madeline. He's the reason we ain't got Claudia. Like, he's the reason why we don't have the best sapphic bitches ever. Like, no, he gotta go to hell. He and Gabriella can hold hands.
Speaking of not enough, I will say the little gay sex that we got in this episode was not enough.
Okay. I was talking to Nick.
Not y'all cock teasing me with the flash of him and Nick. Like, I need to see heated rivalry level of fucking.
Here's the thing. I think for the context of the show, I feel like maybe not heated rivalry level because that shit.
Nah, I need to see heated rivalry level of fucking.
First of all, I love heated rivalry. I love it, and I read the books after I watched the series.
Same, yeah. I read the heated rivalry and the long game.
I have it on my shelf. Like, I love them shits. But like I was telling Nikki the other day, dead ass. I was just like, you know, the only critique I can really give this show is that I think I need at least like. I don't know what can I say here? Like, I was like, what can I say?
I mean, you can say whatever you want. I just literally said Nick.
I was like, I think I need at least like 3 clear strokes, at least. Like, I'm just like, I feel like we saw like straight sex. I feel like that's fine and all. Straight sex is great. But if we're gonna show sex, I feel like I need to see at least 3 strokes.
Facts.
I think I need at least 3.
We said too much straight sex on it. Like, he had a threesome with the baby Janks and which shout out to Lestat. Lestat loves some black people.
Oh yeah.
Whether he got him a black man singing Black Licorice, because I don't care what nobody says. Black Licorice is 1000% about sucking Louis' dick.
Yeah, that's what it's about. No shit. Like, he's the same guy that's like, oh, I lived X amount of days before meeting Louis DeFont. I'm like,
the fact that he said I lived 54,005, whatever the number was.
I was like, why'd you count? No, I was like, yeah.
That just means your life didn't start until you met Louis. Like, you were counting the day, you were counting the days, hours, seconds, and minutes. Like, the lady doth protest too much.
Why would it be the first kill after Louis? Are you stupid, bitch? We know that it's about.
It's about sucking Louis. It's about sucking Lewis's, as TC
Louis,
said.
yes.
We know. Sucking Lewis's dick.
We know, dipshit. Like, duh.
I'm like, I need to see like him sucking Nikki's dick. Like,
yeah. I'm like, you know
what? Somebody said we black girl. She said we on AMC, homie. What does that mean? Like, they're cursing on the show. Like, we literally saw him punch his fist through a priest's skull. And like there's a level, if they can have that level of violence on AMC, they could also have sex
We also in episode 1 saw him fully hunting.
Yeah, also in episode 1 we saw Louis and Sam Reed's ass.
Like we saw ass. We saw in the elevator. The bellhop got involved too. Like we saw like the whole elevator orgy.
Yeah.
So and that was still again 3 pumps. I need to see at least.
I need more ass shots. I need some cakes. Cake.
Because here's the thing: if we're gonna see, are you saying that Armand is full of gremlin mode at the end of the season?
Yeah, shout out to Black Girl Fangs again for another $5 super chat. So what you're saying is that Armand is in full gremlin mode by the end. Is facts. Like not even like the cute, not like the cute gremlin that Gizmo is from those movies. No, he turns into that fucking gremlin with the lipstick and the makeup, like Charizard level.
He's such
gremlin
a freak.
Mode.
I love him. I love that freak ass man. I love that freaky little creepy man. He's so. I rewatched Don't Worry, Just Start the Tape, episode 5 of season 2 recently, and I'm just like, damn, he's insane.
He is.
Armand.
Okay, but did we see Louis top it? Yeah, no, Louis definitely topped Lestat. Even Lestat was you can be on top.
No, they said they in season 1.
I think eventually they switched, but I think the first time
it's Lestat hunching on him. But the other time that we see when he kicks Antoinette out of her own house, Lestat 100% got bent over that day. When he swam the Mississippi, and then we see him in the next scene all fucked up.
You swam the Mississippi for me.
I'm like, he stabbed that man and then kicked the lady out of her own house. You know damn well that Lestat it was the one that was not. You know damn well Lestat was the one that got it that day. Yeah.
But will it though? I mean, the show is sold on the gay. Again, we saw episode 1.
But violence and gay sex are two different. Is it in this show where everyone is
especially vampires?
Again,
sex and violence.
I literally just said that when Lestat and Louis finally get back together, if you look closely at when they're having the hate sex after he kicks Antoinette out, Louis stabs him with his nails. He stabs him.
But the original interview with the vampire was never about being gay.
No, yes, it was.
The characters were bisexual. We mentioned this way earlier in the review.
They're bisexual.
The queerness was very subtle because also the book came out in the 70s.
It came out in 1976, and
but
so
they were very queer. Louis and Lestat were lovers.
All the queerness.
Even Anne Rice has said that that they're clearly bisexual. Well, but in the show they made Louis gay.
For people who don't know this, Lestat and Louis are based off of Anne and her husband, and Claudia is based after her deceased daughter. Louis and Lestat are based on a real life married couple.
So technically, it wasn't about being gay because they were both bisexual. Lestat was, but the show made Lestat bisexual and Louis just straight gay. Louis just straight gay, but they were vampires.
Vampires become bisexual.
In Anne Rice's world, the vampires are very bisexual. But
also Lestat was already bisexual.
Because her books are written in the 70s, they didn't actually have sex. The sex was subtext, but because it's 2025, 2026. They're instead of subtext, they're making it text.
The reason why they did it as well, because I know some people are just
too. The gay allegory was all throughout the film too.
Yeah, and so and also when in the making of that too, when they were making the movie, they even considered having it gender bent and having women play Louis and Lestat, which Cher was also in the running to play Louis. Fun fact, because of the gay subtext, and they thought it was more acceptable if it was 2 women. They literally almost gender bent it because of how gay it was.
I heard about that.
And so people that are saying that the gayness and the queerness is not a part, it always has been. And also when you read Interview with the Vampire, the more you read the book, toward the end, the gayer it gets. They start explicitly calling motherfuckers beautiful, start explicitly saying some shit about people being attractive. They start being very outright with how they feel about each other.
And that's one of my biggest problems with the books. Because they didn't have penetrative sex in the books, but that's mostly because Anne Rice tried to justify, well, they're vampires, so they're dead. So if they're dead, they can't get hard. It's but I hate when people try to do stuff like that. It's It's magic.
Like, it's magic.
Don't try to like.
And here's the thing too. Later on too, they find a way in the book.
Yeah, later on, there's
Lestat has a son.
And that's why I said, like, there's no, I don't know the books, but I know certain things. At a certain point, there's a scientist that they find that allows them to get hard so that they can have sex.
Yeah, Lestat has a son. Like, they do, like, the thing about the and I know that people have talked about this. I've seen videos and stuff where they kind of were bummed when the adaptation was more explicit with the sex. But here's me playing devil's advocate, and also I'm a spooky Latina who loves gay shit. So I'm speaking from that perspective. Just get that clear. I think it was kind of imperative to have it be explicit so that people didn't have that plausible deniability that we have in the comment section right now. Exactly. I think it was imperative in this case that, yeah, changing the source material so that the subtext was text and that the sex was explicit. And it wasn't just, oh, are they gay or are they not gay? Like, I think that we're not at a time where we can do that. I think that we need to be explicit when it comes to queer stories and queerness in general.
Like I say in a lot of videos, I'm tired of subtext. I want fucking text. But even in the part that I am in the books, even though they don't say it explicitly, like, it's very clear Lestat and Nikki are fucking and are lovers.
They run away together. They live together. They are very fond of each other. He refers to him as his love. They are fucking. Like, that is...
It's very clear.
They are fucking. Like, that is not something to be debated on. They are lovers. They are boyfriends. They literally work together. And then he goes around and he turns his boyfriend so that he can continue to be with his boyfriend. That is what happens. Like... Yeah. That is not something to be debated. That is not something to be, well, maybe, no. The only reason why it couldn't be said on the page the way that it was because it was the 80s when that book was written. And censorship is still a thing. And so I think in cases like this, I know some people are like, oh, but the sensuality, they still have the sensuality of the blood drinking. But I think in this case specifically and explicitly, I just remember watching like the first episode of season 1 and being so pleasantly surprised and delighted that they actually kissed and actually, not like explicitly, but they had sex on screen. And seeing that it was not, I wasn't crazy, essentially. Like, I was watching and I'm like, oh, fuck, the what I've been thinking for the past over a decade is correct. My take was correct. And exactly, it's the equivalent of a story saying they were roommates. When I watched that, I was like, oh, finally, they let them be what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm not sure if this comment was towards me or toward the person we're talking about, but I said that, like, Lestat, like, Anne Rice's vampires are very bisexual, but the show made Lestat bisexual and Louis just straight gay. Yeah. But it's still queer. It's still
queer. Yeah. Like, gayness, queerness. I'm using gayness as an umbrella term. I'm not using gay as like only gay people, gay homosexuality.
You got a bisexual person on the panel right now.
Yeah, I'm bisexual. Like, I know. I'm in the LGBTQ. Like, I know. I've been out for 12 years. I know. But like, believe me, I know. And so like, when it comes to like bringing this like adaptation to the screen, I think it was imperative that they make it so that Louis and Lestat share a coffin. Like, they do that shit. It was imperative they make certain parts of the subtext text so that we didn't have people being like, oh, you're stupid for thinking that it's gay, or you're trying to be woke by thinking that it's gay, or you're trying to push an agenda. No, bitch, that was the agenda. Like, that was the agenda since 1976. Like, that, it has been queer since the 70s. So like, I think it was one of those
and even with the subtext that we did get, so like kind of what this person said, and being able to publish them was a huge thing.
Yeah. Like, Lestat was based off of her husband Stan, and Louis was based on her. And then Claudia was based on their deceased daughter
based off their daughter that died of leukemia.
And she wrote Interview with the Vampire as a way to process the grief and also process the like relationship between her and her husband through this grief. And so inherently, by virtue of being based on what it's based on, it is based on a family, 2 people in a relationship and their child. Or Louis and Lestat, 2 people in a relationship and their child. Like, they were always Claudia's dads. They were always married. They were together. Like, that's...
And even in the final book, Prince Lestat because like I mentioned earlier, Louis becomes almost a nothing character as we get further in the books. But the final book, Prince Lestat, does end with them getting back together.
Yeah. Like they are endgame.
They are endgame.
And so that's why when people are just like, no, there are certain things where, especially since like we changed so much already, like we changed Louis being black, we changed Claudia being black, we changed exactly, if you don't want queerness, watch a different vampire show, people, dead ass. But like we saw all these different changes where I was like, no, I feel like another necessary change for this time period was, no, you cannot you cannot get away from the gayness of this. Yeah. And I think it's imperative that you can't.
But with that said, really quickly, let me do some housekeeping because we got 70 people in the live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me and Amanda here in the chat. If you could do me a favor, do us a favor really quickly. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there so more people can see it, more people could join the conversation. Maybe not for this episode, but join us for next week or watch on the replay. And it just helped my channel overall because I have a goal. It's a lofty goal. It's more than likely not going to happen. But you know what? Let me not say that. I'm already being negative.
Say that.
Yeah, I'm already being negative. I have a goal of hitting at least 50K by the end of this year. I'm at like 12,500. You know, we're already halfway through that's why I was like, we're already halfway through the year. I'm at 12,000. But, you know, you shoot for the stars. Maybe you can land on the moon. Maybe I can hit 30,000 by the end of the year. So help me out by hitting the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed and you happen to come across this channel, you like what the conversation is. Because like I said, I talk about fantasy, which includes comic books, horror movies, action movie, whatever is fantasy, blood, sex, gore, and magic. I'm seeing Supergirl going to the red carpet world premiere tomorrow. So I will also be talking about that. So if you want to hear my opinions on all that stuff, subscribe to your boy. I'm also across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I don't really post on Facebook, but whatever. I'm there, you know, all of that. So follow your boy, Black Gay Comic Geek, everywhere. And also follow Amanda. Links to all her social medias are in the description box below. We talk about nerdy shit. We talk about gay shit. We talk about fantasy. And we're good at it. We're damn good at it. So that was my housekeeping.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, go back. What were you saying?
But yeah, no, I would think basically in conclusion, where it's like, no, I think it was important that the sexual part, because another thing too, I believe I'm a spicy seed and media truther. I very much am against this new wave of online. I feel like it's explicitly online people being like, I don't want to see sex ever. It's icky. And also, if you don't want to see something, that's what the rating system is for. That's where all those little letters up there are for. If there is something there that you do not like, you do not have to watch it. That is not for you to decide what A, other people get to watch, and B, what is allowed to be produced. That's how you have a sliding scale into censorship. So there are certain times, especially when it comes to queerness, and especially when it comes to telling queer stories about queer people, where it's like, no, I don't want you to beat around the bush. If we're allowed to see straight sex all the time and see straight relationships all the time and see all these normalized things all the time, why is it suddenly like taboo? And why is it suddenly like, oh, but we need to keep like the class and the tact when it comes to gay people and when it comes to queer people? I don't think I think that's counterproductive to progress, and I think that is counterproductive to the normalization of something that is inherently normal.
Exactly. Representation equals normalization.
Exactly. And so I'm just like, you know what? No, like I am perfectly fine with seeing people get down on screen because A, it's a part of life. Like it's something that people do. It is how most of us got here, unless you are a scientifically made in a tube. Like, you know what I mean? Like unless there's an extenuating circumstance, we all got here pretty much the same way. And it's not gross. It's not icky. It's not nasty. It's not ew. Like respectfully grow up. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like, it's a neutral thing that people do. And sometimes it's romantic and sometimes it's a life. It's a part of life. And so I think to cut out gay sex and gay like depictions of intimacy and gay like explicit depictions of intimacy, it's to kind of reiterate the fact there is a taboo and we're trying to break that. And so I think if we see a good amount of straight sex, I think we should see the equal amount of gay sex. That's all I think. Like, I think if we're gonna have an orgy in the elevator, I think the scene between Nikki and Lestat needed to be longer. Like,
yeah, I agree. That's why I brought it up. It wasn't long enough. Nope. But let me pivot real quick. and I'm gonna pivot back, but can't wait till they release X-Men. Yes, I will be definitely reviewing every single episode of X-Men 97. Can't wait. But now to pivot back, let's go back to this bullshit. Lestat having sex with his mother shows it's not about being gay or whatever the whole point of vampires having sex with women, men, or even relatives. It just highlights they're not bound to ideologies. But like I said, Lestat is bisexual. So yeah, he's having sex with a woman. He's having sex with a woman, but also this show is about dealing with trauma.
Also, so like the
him having sex with a woman is like getting over the trauma. And then also we see that him setting the boundary and stopping him having sex with his mother. And then the fact that we get to the end of this episode and him with setting that boundary and sticking to it, and his mother not really being able to get what she used to be able to get from him. That's why she left at the end of the episode. But also at the end of the day, this show is clearly telling us that Louis and Lestat are endgame.
It's still a queer show. And the instance of him having this incestuous relationship with his mother is still a part of the narrative, because the overall narrative is a gothic horror series.
Yes.
Right?
Is it 100% gay? No, it's not, because the main character is bisexual.
But the main characters are queer characters who are going through queer issues. We literally see in the first season Louis and Lestat facing discrimination because they start to clock that they are queer. Like, it's things like that where it's like it is going to inform the narrative, and something also having to do with the narrative doesn't negate the fact that the show is a queer show. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there was even a moment in season 2 during the trial scene,
where he calls him the F word.
Well, one of the military people called, when they were talking about the love of Louis and Lestat, one of the people called them fags.
Yeah.
And Lestat had this whole moment and speech and everything like that. Oh, you think the love between two men is gross? Yada yada yada. Like, if it wasn't a queer show, that moment would have never been there.
Exactly.
Louis and Lestat, or Lestat and Armand, or the fact that Louis is with Lemuel, like.
It wouldn't.
This show is gay as hell.
It's like, gay as hell.
This whole season as a reaction to his boyfriend writing a book about him and hurting his feelings.
Literally,
that song. Why do I have to feel? He literally sang a hurt song to his boyfriend. Like, I tried to write you the most beautiful song in the world, but I got distracted. He put up the book. I'm gonna use my K-pop Demon Hunter figures as the book.
He fully annotated the goddamn thing. He fully annotated it, and then also like that's the thing where it's like I'm gonna be like just kind of objective here, where it's like the whole like disingenuous deflections that because one thing happens that negates everything else that has happened and will come to happen.
And this too.
Yeah, Anne Rice's son is homosexual, so it makes sense. Yeah, like, and they also co-produced the series, and they also
co-produced the series before Anne Rice died.
And they also used to co-write books together. And so like. And also Anne Rice herself, her real name is Howard. It was Howard. Her legal name is Howard. And she talks about growing up with parents that were more free-spirited, who didn't really conform to a lot of gender roles and conform to a lot of things that were societally like of the time. And so she grows up and she talks about how she just kind of viewed herself as herself and not really within the confines of like gender and shit like that. And even in the books, Gabriella is a very, like, she cuts her hair very short. She dresses in a lot of menswear. Like, she also kind of toes the line between gender and the gender that she was born as. So,
which I heard that she does that in the books, and I'm disappointed that they kind of made her basically just a cisgender woman.
Yeah, they just kind of give her
in the books they say Gabriella presents more trans mask.
Yeah, and she has this.
I don't think she identifies as a man, but just in terms of like.
She operates in life more neutrally than she does in the specific gender role of a woman. And so like queerness has been integral to the story since its conception, essentially. And like, for example, trauma and childhood trauma and generational trauma are also themes in the show. Like Claudia, as like what she has gone through, the way that she lived versus the way she was turned versus what happened when she went out. Race is another big thing that is a theme in the show. And that doesn't necessarily mean that because one thing is a theme, that another thing isn't. And so, yeah, it is correct to say that this is a queer show surrounding queer themes.
Yes, just two things can be true at once.
Just as well as it is to say that it's a show that is a gothic horror that explores gothic and horrific themes because it is. That's the genre of the show.
Like this whole episode was literally him telling the story of his male lover, Nikki.
Like, exactly. He literally was talking about his boyfriend the whole time. Like, and also like the fact that he has this incestuous relationship with his mother. That is traumatic. That is born of trauma. That is something that is predatory. And also, again, in a show about vampires, predators, prey. Like, there are so many different all-encompassing themes in the show, and to say that because there's incestuous relationships with women or women in general, that completely negates all the rest of the gayness is just simply not true.
Speaking of predatory, this is the last thing, because I think we talked about everything but the predator, the wolf, the maker, Magnus.
Oh, his creepy ass teeth. That man, I'm sure the actor looks perfectly fine in person. I've not seen him in pictures.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him in pictures. But like the fact that
sure he's a fine human.
The fact that Lestat wrote this like love ballad to try to like whitewash his turning.
The way that he kind of idealized his trauma in a way that was more palatable to him.
But then we see what actually happened. And the writers did a very good job of like showing the truth of what happened to Lestat
with the juxtaposition
of what happened with Claudia.
Because the whole time watching that, and then I saw in the after too, the after of the episode, we was like, no, it becomes very apparent that this whole thing was a kidnap and assault. Like, that's what Lestat went through. Objectively, he was kidnapped, he was assaulted, he was turned against his will. That is an allegory for sexual violence, especially with like the way the vampire
kept there for God knows how long. Like,
exactly,
it happened over the course of one night.
Exactly. And then like the whole thing too, when we talk about the blood drinking and the sensuality of the blood drinking, like the petit coup, like all those things, the taking and exchange of blood is also a very sensual and sexual act. And so the fact that he forced his blood and like onto him essentially and forced his blood out of him, that is a clear 1-to-1 of what happened that night. And so like I'm glad they didn't gloss over it too. I'm glad because we see the version that Lestat wants to tell himself so that he's not a victim. And that's a very victim thing to do. That is something that a lot of survivors do. They will idealize what happened to them or downplay what happened to them or make it so that, oh, it's not that bad, or I understand why it happened, or I would, like, he even says like, oh, if I were Magnus and I saw myself, like
I would do the same thing. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, so season 1 Lestat said it was a week. Okay.
Yeah. And so like if we see that this devastating thing he's trying to process and turn into something that's not nearly as devastating, and tries to make it idealized and tries to make it so that it's like, oh no, he just had a crush on me and then he like acted on it. Oh, like that's all that happened. It's like, no, baby, you were assaulted. Like you were assaulted, you were turned against your will, and now you have been made a monster by a monster. Like,
yeah, I do, because I did get to this part of the book, whereas in the book it was like that, but reverse. Lestat was in pure terror, but then as he turned, he fell in love with his maker. It was just as jarring as we see in the show. Yeah, because also you have the vampire bond. Yeah. So even though there was terror behind it, now because he's his maker, now there is still a level of attack.
Now they are connected forever.
Yeah, now they're connected through the blood.
And that's like, for better or for worse, they are connected forever. And so it's very, and especially if they made the deliberate choice, again, like you said, like the juxtaposition between the actual scenes of what actually happened and not the music video that he tried to tell Daniel. And the fact that it's narrated over the recounting of Claudia's assault, it's like, no, that's what happened to you. Like, that is what happened to you. And he doesn't want to believe. He even said it in the episode 1. He was like, I'm just showing you what it felt like at the time, when he was referring to his mother. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he knows it's wrong. He knows that what she's doing is wrong. He knows that the behavior is wrong. He does not want to be seen as a victim. He wants to be seen as if he is choosing what is happening to him. And it's sad because that's the thing that a lot of survivors do. That's like, oh no, I was the one that pursued them, or I was the one that said this, or I was the one that did this. And it's like, at the end of the day, you said no and they said yes. Like, and that's something that he has not processed.
Yes. And then when we get to the final song where he finally does like take a stand, you can't fuck away the loneliness. You can't drink away the loneliness. It'll come back like a headache. It'll come back like a vampire. You can't, what's the next part? You can't say whatever. It's like he's finally like not coming to terms because there's still a lot of growth.
Yeah.
That he has to deal with, but
like he has a couple more crash outs coming.
He's like now he's starting to be on that journey.
Yeah,
and accepting what actually happened to him,
accepting that it happened, and that it wasn't okay. Because there's another thing too that people do, like they'll accept that it did happen, but they'll do what Lestat did, and they will make a music video in their head and try to come from a point of understanding to rationalize why somebody could possibly do what they did. And at the end of the day, sometimes people do what they do because they are bad people and you were there. And that is something that he can't fathom either, because in his own head, you saw the way that he portrayed himself with oh god, what's the song called where he's like the wolf killer song, the one that he had from Magnus's point of view.
Biggest fan.
Where like you saw Lestat in his own head idealizing himself.
Yeah.
Like with the light behind him, surrounded by adoring people, like with a painting of himself, which actually happened, but like just kind of like this, it's framed romantically.
Because that's something that I've done, and I've talked about this before. Yeah. Like I was molested as a kid, and I try to make light of it. It was like, oh well, it wasn't that big. At least I wasn't really, you know, the person, he's dead, so like whatever, it's not a big deal. Like he's dead, it's like, so who cares? But it's like, but it is a big deal.
It is. And like as I'm like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And that's like a person who's been assaulted myself. Like there was a point after that where again, like I looked at it through rose-colored glasses because the reality was too painful. Like the reality of the situation was, no, I did say no. And they did that anyway. And it just is something that really hard to process, because it's just like, but why would they do that? Was it possibly my fault? Did I say something or do something?
And that's exactly what happened to me. Like, I was just like, oh, well, if I don't do this, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, it got like, and I knew it was wrong. Cause like, there was one point that he wanted me to do what he wanted me to do. And I didn't want to do it. And I ran to the kitchen and pulled a knife on him.
Yeah. Because innately,
because I pulled a knife on him, I was told like, oh, I'm gonna tell your mother that you pulled a knife, or you're gonna get in trouble. You know, it's like, but as obviously I say all that thinking in my head, like as an adult, like obviously I'm like, well, if you tell my mother I pulled a knife on you, and then I say what caused me to pull a knife on you, who's really gonna get in trouble? But that's me as a grown ass man now, not as a fucking 8-year-old, like whatever. Or honestly, I don't even remember how old I was when it actually happened. I know I was under 10 when it happened, but I don't remember exactly what the age was. But it's like, you know, that's me, you know, trying to like justify, be like, oh well, you know,
your brain does whatever it can, whether it's correct or not, to try to protect you, including putting rose-colored glasses on an objectively fucked situation. Which is why, like, watching this episode, I was like, oh no, like, definitely have been there where it's like the rose-colored glasses come off at some point and you're like, oh fuck, like that's actually the reality of the situation. And that's hard to reconcile with. And that's something where it's like, again, watching this season and watching this through Lestat's eyes, because we only, again, saw Lestat through the lens of Louis and whatever he told Louis, or the lens of Claudia's diaries, or just, we never saw the way that he actually reacted to things and the way that he actually coped with things. We just kind of saw the idea of him through other people. And to, like, again, I know that people, and I do too, like, I love the style and the way that seasons 1 and 2 were. But, like, as far as, like, a character study, and as far as, like, a character analysis, and as far as, like, just looking at the narrative, the way that it's being presented to us, it's very earnest in its portrayal of somebody who has continuously had to act like what has happened to him doesn't affect him nearly as much as it does. And that's a very relatable thing. And so, yeah.
Really quick, let me shout out Black. Sending more super chats, which I appreciate each and every single one. Are you able to share what your favorite The Vampire Lestat episode is from the ones you have watched? Happy Pride Month. I'm making it rain to celebrate you, BlackGayComicGeek, which I appreciate. So yeah, I will say episode 6 is my favorite of the season so far. Episode 6 has my favorite Louis and Lestat moment throughout all 3 seasons. Episode 6 has my like Louis and Lestat in episode 6. I was like, I need more of this.
No.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm a Lestat truther. I love those toxic.
I'm a Lestat truther.
So far from what I've seen, I've only seen the first 3. I was screening the first 3, and even before that, it came out this week. Episode 3 was my favorite.
Episode 3, we watched episode. No, we didn't see. Akasha wasn't in episode 3.
Akasha does not show up in episode 3.
Yeah,
I am excited to see Akasha though.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything.
I know she's about to fuck everything up, but like as she should, queen. Like,
I mean, we already saw in episode 1.
Yeah, listen,
there's a vampire apocalypse that happens. So like
a vampocalypse.
Yeah, and Lestat also says in episode 2 that everything that he's doing this season, his music causes Akasha to wake up. So that's not a spoiler because he says it in episode 2. And we also saw the Space Needle collapse.
Yep.
In this episode. So we know there's a vampire apocalypse coming, and the fact that Armand is missing an eye, Louis is missing a leg. So some shit is about to go down, and we're just
can't wait to see
we're seeing how that ends up happening.
I can't wait to see that mess.
Till we get to basically the Queen of the Dam, where Akasha is fucking shit up.
Because isn't the Vampire Lestat like seasons 1 and 2 of Interview with the Vampires half the book and then the other half of the book?
That's the thing I don't know. Are they gonna push this into 2 seasons, or are we gonna get like full Queen of the Dam season 4? That I don't know.
I think it might be seasons like Vampire Lestat part 2, and then I think I would have to watch more of the show and be like, hey, we're headed there. Because when I was watching season 1, I was like, this is not enough time for the shit that needs to happen. And
Trey said it. I'm not gonna say it. Trey said I'm not gonna say it, but I'm not saying how she shows up or what's the circumstances of it. But there you go.
But okay, I'll wait till episode 5. I'll just like, I can't wait.
Yeah, go back and look at episode 1. Louis is missing a leg.
Yeah, Louis is missing a leg. I noticed a lot of people didn't realize that. I'm like, do you not see the peg?
Yeah, Louis is missing a leg and Armand is missing an eye.
Like
with that said, can it grow back? I don't know.
I think if they burn it, no.
Yeah, because what's his face burned his hand. Nikki burned his arm.
Yeah, when Nikki cuts his arm off, like his hand off, he throws it into the fire, so it can't be reattached.
But if the leg is still intact, they can reattach. It's not going to grow back like Deadpool style.
No,
they can reattach severed limbs.
If the leg is intact, they can reattach it.
So,
but if it's not, if it's burned like to ash, then you're kind of fucked.
I hope he gets his leg back.
I don't think he does by virtue of the fact that he's fitted for a whole prosthetic. I think they threw that shit into the fire. I think they threw that.
We also don't know when We also don't know when it happened. Like
I think that shit is toast. Like I think Armand's eye and Louis' leg are just crackling in the fire together.
So I don't know, Wilson, but I'm like, not my baby leg. Like, come on.
Like, oh my god, like, Armand already went shopping for a whole eye patch. That shit is gone.
Fact, like, he needs Rocket Raccoon to let him borrow another eye, like he did with Thor.
In which case, would it be possible to like get another vampire shit and just like try to like
take their leg and retrofit? I don't know, maybe.
Like what? That's so fucked up. Like
your eye kind of looks like mine. Let me
wait a minute, hold on. Can I get that? Actually, like, oh my god.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, shit doesn't go well. And who's powerful enough to take Armand's eye? Fucking Akasha. So yeah.
Oh my god. Have we been talking? We've been talking for 2 hours. Oh my god.
Wait, I'm about to end. I told you. Now.
I told you.
I said. I was like, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, because so before Amanda and I went live, we was like, oh, you were like, how long you think we're gonna go? I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to keep this to like an hour or whatever. But sometimes we might end up yapping. But like, look.
In my head, I was like, okay, so 2 hours. Like I was like, so we're gonna talk for 2 hours, and we dead ass did.
But yeah, but I think we got through everything. So
I think we did too.
But let me actually ask you so far, what is your favorite song?
Oh God, my favorite one is your biggest it's called Your Biggest Fan.
Yeah,
that was my favorite when he played it live too. Because I just love a good ballad, and I love like the pipes on that motherfucker, and also just like it's so sad, but it's like it's so good though.
Your Biggest Fan was my favorite song too. But now that I know the context of the loneliness, because he also performed the loneliness at the red carpet, but I didn't have the context. So I was just like, oh, this is a nice song. But now that I know the context, I'm like, it's not nice. It's not cute. It's not cute at all. It's emotional damage. So I'm like, I kind of like, now it's like fluctuated with me. Now, right now, I feel like the loneliness is my favorite right now. It was Your Biggest Fan, but now I'm like, I really like the loneliness.
One of my favorite ones hasn't been played in the show yet, and it's one that he played at the live show. It is Brutal Love. Has he played that in the show yet?
Brutal Love. I gotta remember how it goes.
That one's really good too. And it's kind of in the same ballad vein as Your Biggest Fan. I think I just really like when he sings ballads.
But there's a song he sings in episode, I think it's 6. I'm pretty sure he performed it in the live show. I don't have a video of it because I FaceTime one of my friends. So like she could watch it, and it happened to be on that song. And she also saw the first 6 episodes, and she was like, you know what's funny? That you FaceTime me on that song because that is my favorite song of the entire series.
Oh.
And after I watched this first 6 episodes, I was like, I get it. That I think it's episode 6. That's my favorite song.
Okay.
I'm not going to give any circumstances, who he's singing it to, what's this, but that's my favorite song of the entire. It's in episode, I believe it's episode 6.
Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind.
That's my favorite song of the entire show.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I love man. Like, I'm so excited for.
But yeah, be prepared. And that's the bad thing about sitting on episodes. Like, it's like, yeah, great. I got to see the first 6 episodes as information. I know something you don't know. I know something.
Then I'm just like,
it's great. Like, even now, I can go and watch. Like, I still have the episode. I can go back and rewatch. Like, before we started going live, I was rewatching episode 4. And so I still go back and watch instead of having to wait a week. But also at the same time, it's like I got to sit on information. It's like I want to talk about shit, but I can't talk about it because it's not out yet.
Real.
So it's like,
yeah, you know more than me.
It's both a blessing and a curse because like now I gotta wait. I'm burdened with knowledge.
Damn.
It's like I gotta wait because I'm like, I want to talk about episode 6 so badly, but I gotta wait because we're not there yet.
Obsession. I saw that shit in March, and I was like, I have to wait 2 months to talk to people about this. I'm pissed. Like, but yeah, that's yeah.
But yeah, with that said, thank you guys for joining us in the chat. This was fun. I had a great time. We're definitely going to keep the conversation going, you know, next Sunday for episode 4, which I believe, what's episode 4 called?
Oh God, I don't know.
I'm about to look it up right now.
This one was Toledo, right?
Yeah, this one was Toledo. Episode 4.
They're all cities, right?
Yeah, they're all cities. Episode 4 is called, why is it failing me? Episode title. Somebody's probably saying it in the comments, but I'm not looking right now. Episode 4 is called The Devil's Road.
Oh, it ain't even a fucking place. Is the tour over? No.
Yeah, episode 4 is called The Devil's Road. 5 is called New York, and 6 is called Montreal, and then 7 is called The Failures.
Oh, so is episode 4 gonna fuck me up because it's not? The naming conventions are. Oh God.
Is episode 4 gonna fuck you up? I mean, every episode fucks you up.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fucked up am I gonna be? Be honest.
I mean,
based on like what will.
Because I'm trying to compare. Because I'm thinking about episode 6 is gonna fuck you up. So I'm just like,
I figured.
You compare episode 6 to episode 4, it's not gonna fuck you up that bad. But every episode of the show just gets better and better. So if you love episode 3, you're gonna love episode 4. Some shit goes down. Like I said, Regina comes back. It gets crazy. But yeah, episode 6 is gonna fuck you up.
Okay. I figured like penultimate episodes are always like, but like yeah. But yeah. Oh, the Vampire Lestat.
But yeah, join us next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, Amanda, final thoughts. final
Oh my
prediction,
gosh.
whatever.
I'm being seduced by the
something
tail.
is there something that so far that we've seen but that we haven't gotten that you want more of? Like what? Like,
oh my gosh. I'm letting the tail
and
seduce
really quick,
me.
no, all the episodes are basically pretty much the same length.
Nice. I'm letting the tail seduce me. I really like the way that we're seeing things play out and like the callbacks that we have from previous seasons, so that nothing is ever really abandoned. I really do appreciate shows that don't just abandon certain subplots. I love the fact that we're seeing Delaney Hales more. I need to see actual Claudia at some point, and I need her to fuck everyone up in some aspect. I don't care. I need people to be read to filth. I need feelings to be hurt. I need Ghost Claudia to come and wreak havoc because I miss that bitch. And I think she was done so dirty, and I just need to see her again. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see the rest of it. We have a month left of this show.
I wish we had more episodes. Like,
and
that's my biggest criticism. I need more episodes. Because as much as I love this show, and I will say this, having the knowledge that I have, as much I still love the show. I'll still give it a 10 out of 10. But by the time episode 6 ends, I still have questions that I'm just like, but what about this? What about this? What about this? Why didn't they talk about this? Why didn't they talk about this?
I think we're gonna have a case of which they're gonna get back to it in season 4 or 5, like we did with seasons 1, like with Bruce, and how we came back 2 whole seasons later. So like I think that's the road they're going toward, where it's like, don't forget this, like you should know this too. You know, when you're like playing a multiple choice video game and it's just like, this person will remember that, like it's like that, but where it's relevant later.
But like I said, it's my favorite show currently running on television. I could talk about this for another hour.
Like, Jesus, we could if we don't.
We could, but I need to rein myself in. Like,
I gotta eat. I got some dogs to take care of.
I gotta eat. I work tomorrow. I gotta get my outfit ready for Supergirl. Like, I gotta
junket. Like,
yeah, I just saw Disclosure Day. I still gotta do my review for that. Like, I got shit to do, guys.
Yeah, same. So I got a junket to do early in the morning. So, yeah.
But yeah, so guys, I don't have any predictions because I know I'm not going to give you any predictions. But like I said, join us next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll try to get Ethan on as well. So it's the 3 of us. Make sure you like, share, comment, interact for the All Gay Rhythm. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Watch my other videos. Even if you don't care about what I'm reviewing, let it play for the watch time. It's Pride Month. Support your local.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, support your local Black Gay Comic Geek. Follow me on my other social media channels, YouTube, TikTok. Well, this is YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching, you already follow me. But TikTok, Instagram, all of that stuff. Because like I said, I'm going to the red carpet for Supergirl. So if you want to see the fit, you want to see the outfit, you'll see that on Instagram. So follow your boy and then join me next week for episode 4. And with that said, we are out.